The Stamey Funeral Home in Falston has been providing services to families of our community with care and compassion. And now the Stamey Funeral Home has added a new cremation center along with their new name, the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center. And they want to take this time to invite you to their open house Sunday afternoon, October 19th from 2 to 4 p.m. The Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center on Highway 182 in Falston, and the Stamey Cherryville Funeral Home on Dixie Street in Cherryville.
Here, lizard, lizard, lizard.
Oh no, it's total mayhem.
Hurry, call your good neighbor.
You can't. They're not even there.
Why, they can't even lend a good hand. Oh. Relax. At Pegram Insurance, we've got you covered. Pegram Insurance Agency, 220 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, and in the Town and Country Shopping Center in Lincoln. Considering hardwood flooring for your home? Then head to Flooring America in Kings Mountain or Carpet One Interiors in Ranlow. Right now at both locations, you'll find a big selection of in-stock hardwoods on sale, priced as low as $2.99 a square foot. That's right, only $2.99 a square foot at Flooring America, 602 Slater Street in Kings Mountain, and Carpet One Interiors in Ranlow.
We all hear about how good the barbecue is in Lexington, Greensboro, and in eastern North Carolina. But here in Cleveland County, we all know that the best barbecue is here. At Alston Bridges Barbecue, Kent and Linda Bridges and their family make sure the staple of their restaurant is the best barbecue. Your choice, pork, beef, or chicken, plus delicious sides, such as slaw, beans, fries, and hush puppies. The best since Alston and Mabel opened in 1955. Alston Bridges Barbecue, 620 Grover Street, right here in Shelby.
Hi, this is Woody Durham for Mark Dedman's Carolina Trophies in Shelby. Through the years, I've seen a lot of trophies and plaques, and none appear nicer than those which come from Mark Dedman's Carolina Trophies. Their guarantee is not just a guarantee, but a promise for courteous service, the absolute lowest price, quality products, on-time delivery, and most of all, your satisfaction. Awards for all occasions, plus rubber stamps and engraving. That's Mark Dedman's Carolina Trophies in Shelby.
Former club members Denzel Washington and Jennifer Lopez for the Boys and Girls Clubs.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future.
You can change a child's future. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
You can open doors for children to have great futures at the Boys and Girls Club of Cleveland County. Visit us at 412 West Sumter Street or at greatfutures.org.
Carolina Energies is your heating and air service experts. They service all brands and feature complete installations. 24-hour service is available with on-call technicians. And this spring and summer, keep your family comfortable with a peace of mind service plan from Carolina Energies. It will keep you cool and save you money on costly repairs. For more information, call 704-482-9561. Carolina Energies, 515 North DeKalb Street in Shelby.
Baseball players rely on lots of coaches. First base, third base, pitching, and catching. But when it comes to insurance, you only need one coach, an Allstate agent. They'll help you with your insurance game plan. Plus, Allstate agents can bundle your coverage for your car, apartment, boat, motorcycle, and more. So you've got all your bases covered. Are you in good hands?
Your local Allstate agency is the Chris McDaniel Allstate Insurance Agency. 404 Cherryville Road, across from the YMCA in Shelby. Call 704-484-3463.
Hi, this is Woody Durham for Doctors Doug Stroud, Jim Wilson, and Craig Thompson at Family Dental Care in Shelby. No matter the age, kids, teenagers, and adults, Dr. Stroud, Wilson, and Thompson will take care of your dental needs. They have over 50 years' experience serving the people of Cleveland County. Call 704-482-3281 for family dental care at 416 West Warren Street in Shelby. That's Doctors Doug Stroud, Jim Wilson, and Craig Thompson. Kids love them, and you will too.
Since 1919, yes, 1919, Griffin Drug Store in downtown Kings Mountain has been serving the people of the Kings Mountain area with the finest in prescription service. And be sure to come in and ask about the 10% senior citizen discount. And most prescription cards are honored at Griffin Drug Center, 129 West Mountain Street in downtown Kings Mountain. Since 1919. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 12 on Saturday. That's Griffin Drug Center in Kings Mountain. Remember, it wasn't raining when Noah started building the ark. For all of your waterproofing needs, stay high and dry with a call to H&H Pest Control and Waterproofing. H&H Pest Control and Waterproofing does all types of waterproofing, from basements to crawl spaces, from commercial to residential. Call 704-482-2847, 704-482-2847 for H&H Pest Control and Waterproofing, East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
A child's life is so precious, yet all around us, children's lives are being destroyed by drugs. Take an active role in your child's life. Teach them that a healthy, drug-free lifestyle is their best choice. A word from Hooker Bonding of Shelby, our area's quality professionals, a name you can trust and depend on. Hooker Bonding is working today for a brighter tomorrow for our children.
The Round Man, Okie Knipe, invites you into Okie's Tire and Service Center for all your tire and auto service needs. Okie gives you the best value in tires, both new and used tires, and they'll mount and balance your tires free. Come into Okie's Service Center for all your service needs, including radiator flush, brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, and state inspections. Serving Cleveland County since 1978. That's right, over 35 years. Okie's Tire and Service Center, 800 West Warren Street in Shelby.
Inlow Mortuary is in its 90th year providing sympathetic, efficient services to the families of the Shelby area. Inlow's is committed to these families to make sure their arrangements are handled in the most professional, caring way. The folks at Inlow's believe the quality of their service, personal touch, and the little things they do add up to the family's satisfaction. Inlow's staff is available anytime to assist you in any way they can. Inlow Mortuary, 231 North Lafayette Street in Shelby.
Shelby Savings Bank has been a part of the Cleveland County community for over 100 years. Our mission is to help the Cleveland County community grow and prosper. What distinguishes Shelby Savings is our deep relationships with our customers, knowing their names, treating them as individuals, and understanding all that they do. It's banking that fits your life.
Locations in Uptown and at the Cleveland Mall. Shelby Savings Bank, a home trust bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Keep warm this winter and save money too with the new Echo SunTech infrared heater from Cleveland Lumber Company in Shelby. It's a 3-in-1 product, an infrared heater, a humidifier, and an air purifier with a 5-year factory warranty on the PTC heat element. The Echo SunTech infrared heater allows you to heat by zones instead of an entire area. Zone heating allows you to keep unoccupied areas cooler than normal, thereby reducing your heating bill. See one today at Cleveland Lumber Company, 217 Arrowwood Street in Shelby. Good credit, bad credit, no credit? Apply today and ride today at Full Throttle Power Sports in Lowell. Pick up this week's What's Up Shopper for some great deals with zero money down and rates as low as 2.99%. See the new Polaris Ranger 500 Crew for as low as $10,000. The brand new Yamaha Grizzly 125 is only $35.99. And for the lake, get the 2014 Yamaha Superjet for only $71.50. Full Throttle Power Sports. Exit 22 off I-85 in Lowell. Online at ncfullthrottle.com. From soak to spin, the Whirlpool Duet Washer and Dryer Pair from Hendrick Appliance in Shelby and Gastonia are designed with features that do more, so you have to do less. With advanced features that sense and adapt to provide the perfect clean automatically, your clothes will never look newer, and laundry day will look a whole lot easier. See them today at your nearest Hendrick Appliance, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, and at 4027 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. Remember the name, Hendrick Appliance. Honda's line of 4-track Rancher all-terrain vehicles are America's favorite ATVs because they're always improving. That's especially true with the all-new 2014 Ranchers, like the new double cradle steel chassis and aggressively styled bodywork that's just as tough as it is good-looking. So head on down to Honda of Shelby, Highway 74 Bypass East in Shelby, and see the entire 2014 Honda Rancher line. You'll see why these midsize ATVs are truly the best on earth. Honda of Shelby, Highway 74 East.
Medical Arts Pharmacy is your locally owned independent hometown pharmacy. Unlike the big chain stores, Medical Arts Pharmacy calls you by name and treats you like family and friends, not a number. Medical Arts has more National Board certified technicians and personnel than other pharmacies to keep down your waiting time on prescriptions. Online refills at medicalartsofshelby.com. Medical Arts Pharmacy, 108 Grover Street near the hospital in Shelby. Call 704-487-8068.
Service. That's hard to find when it comes to lawn and garden equipment. Not anymore. Head to Parker Farm Service in Kings Mountain. Parker Farm Service services all major brands, makes, and models. Call Mary McHenry to set up your appointment at 704-259-6130. And Parker Farm Service welcomes Kenny Barbie to their service department. 24-hour turnaround with in-house parts, plus delivery and pickup is available. Parker Farm Service on Bessie Drive at the Highway 74 Bypass, Oak Grove Road intersection in Kings Mountain. Homestar Mortgage is now in their new location at 824 South DeKalb Street in Shelby, right next to the DQ. You're invited to come by and see their new offices. And when it comes to a home loan, see Homestar Mortgage. Talk with Bob Webb about your new home. From conventional loans to FHA to VA to USDA, and all loan programs are available to qualified buyers. Find out more today. Visit the new Homestar Mortgage, now in the new location at 824 South DeKalb Street in Shelby next to DQ. Call 704-482-2588. Homestar Mortgage, it's the easiest way home. On a cool night, there's nothing better than fresh oyster stew. And right now, at the Ora Supermarket in Broad River Ham in Shelby, you'll find fresh bucket-dipped oysters. Or get them in a shell. Just think, fresh oyster stew for dinner tonight. And don't forget, Halloween is October 31st, and the Ora Supermarket at Broad River Hams has plenty of pumpkins in all sizes. Plus some great meat bundles, too. Ora Supermarket at Broad River Hams, 1026 East Marion Street in Shelby. Welcoming Harris Teeter and Lowe's Food customers. There's nothing like a Bobcat to cut grass, and there's no better deal than right now to own a new Bobcat from West End Sales in Vail. For only $101 a month, you can be mowing on your new Bobcat with 0% financing for 54 months. See the Bobcat Fast Cat R2 with a big 22 horsepower Kawasaki engine and a big 52-inch cut and a heavy-duty frame weighing 850 pounds, plus a 3-year, 300-hour warranty. Only $101 per month at West End Sales, Highway 2718 North Intersection, Vail. Old Man Winter is just around the corner. It's time to fill up your tank with home heated oil or kerosene from Energy Direct in Shelby. They promise to beat anybody's price. Check with Energy Direct in Shelby before you fill it up for winter. Just give them a call at 704-482-0351. Again, that's 704-482-0351. They will beat anybody's price on home heated oil and kerosene. Guaranteed. Energy Direct, 1629 South Lafayette Street, Shelby.
When accidents happen, it's reassuring to know that quick expert care is nearby. Carolina's Healthcare Urgent Care Shelby is now open and is staffed with experienced physicians, mid-level providers, nurses, and support personnel equipped with on-site laboratory and x-ray services. So keep our new location and contact information close by for immediate access to the region's preferred healthcare and largest physicians network. Carolina's Healthcare Urgent Care, 1010 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
Check out the new storage buildings at the Roundup store in Shelby. Come see the new vinyl siding storage building and the new T111 wooden siding building. And the Roundup store's wooden buildings are built to last and last. And check out their line of beautiful kitchen cabinets. Make your dream kitchen a reality. The Roundup store, 1610 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Open 8:30 till 5:30 Monday through Friday, 8:30.
Over to take a 1-6 Cherville team. Pine Lake Prep will be over at Bessemer City. Pine Lake comes in 5-1. Bessemer City 5-2. Probably the premier game of that conference tonight. Well, it's probably the premier, but I keep wondering who else in the world Pine Lake Prep is playing. Well, that's true. North Lincoln in the North Piedmont 3A 4A will travel over to take on 4A Power Mooresville. North Lincoln 5-2. Mooresville 7-0. This is a big game for North Lincoln, but you're making that trip down to Mooresville. Hellcat. Listen, Mooresville has beat every opponent by an average of 32 points. All right, over in the Big South 2A, 3A, Lake Norman Charter travels to take on Hunter Hug. Stuart Kramer over to North Gaston. Ashbrook will be traveling to East Gaston for a battle of 2-1 teams. And the big game in the Big South 3A, 2A, 3A is Forest View comes in 3-0 in the conference, taking on at South Point 3-0. South Point won 49-34 last year. Forest View has yet to be the team with a winning record. Well, this right here, South Point leads it all time 16-1. Only time Forest View won was a 21-20 winner in 2009. But this team right here has two of the best running backs you can ever have, O'Neal and Ryan Nicholson. Well, South Point's played a very difficult schedule this year with Press, A.C. Reynolds, and Shelby on the schedule. If Forest View's going to get one, it'll be this year because they've got a very versatile offense with O'Neal and their quarterback John Crawford. This could be the year. You'll have to see. You got to beat the man, you got to beat the man, and that's what it's going to take for Forest View to win the Big South Conference. That's it. The two best offenses are against each other. Forest View 416 yards, South Point 360. That's going to wrap up the KTTBroadcaster.com Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. I'm Sam Davis, and for Terry Reinhardt, thanks for joining us. Don't forget the Ronaldo Auto Mall post-game show coming up immediately following the game. Enjoy the game. Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price with names like the Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General Insurance, and Travelers. Drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986. leader is Big Oak Country, 1390 AM WHS in Shelby, 1590 AM WCSL, Cherville Gastonia, 1050 AM WLON Lincoln, and online at KBCBroadcasting.com.
And with pleasant good evening, it's 6:59, almost time for Shelby High football, and our present temperature is 71 degrees on the clear skies. We now take you live to the most associated with WOHS and KBC Broadcasting to Burns and Shelby at Burns tonight. And now for the call of the game, Coach Jeff Jones and Brent Pasco. Take it away.
Thank you, Steve Roberts, Brent Pasco, and Jeff Jones here at Ron Green Stadium at Burns High School. And this is another SMAC conference showdown between Cleveland County rivals Shelby High and Burns High School. And both teams coming in on a little bit of a hot streak. Shelby undefeated in conference play. Burns comes in 3-1 in conference play, having won 3 out of 4, including a pretty exciting win against East Rutherford 2 weeks ago, in which Burns scored late in that one to win 20-13. Burns had an off week last week, so a little extra time to prepare for the Golden Lions. And Shelby coming in off a big win last week, 64-10 against East Rutherford over at Shelby High on homecoming. And Coach, two teams coming in just where you expect them to be. One's 4-0 conference play, the other 3-1.
Well, absolutely. In fact, Shelby's actually 5-0 because they haven't had their open week. But yeah, this is a huge game. Burns is thinking that if they can win this game, that puts them in the driver's seat as far as possible second place in the conference. And as we talked about all year, Shelby, although the 2A games are the biggest games as far as playoff seeding, this is a conference game, and on top of that, it's a county game. And there is one other situation. Burns has won 4 straight in this series, which is the second longest streak they've had. They actually had a 5-game winning streak in the late 90s, late 80s and early 90s. So Shelby coming off a big victory, like you said, and Burns coming off the open week, but Shelby in a way might feel like they've had plenty of time because they played Monday and Friday 2 times this year, and so it should feel pretty good to actually go Friday to Friday.
Yeah, Shelby's had a couple of those this week. Once they played Chase on a Monday. They also had to play, or was it Chase? It was East Burke a couple of weeks ago. So it was Kings Mountain the other time. So Shelby twice, like you said, has had to play on Monday, Friday situation. But last week we thought it might hurt them on Friday, but Shelby played their most complete game of the season, and that was a 64-10 win in which R.J. George set the singles game passing record. We had Jaden Borders set a couple of records. He went for the 4th straight 100-yard receiving game. We had a 5-touchdown pass by R.J. George that was tied a record, or maybe even set a record passing touchdowns in the game. And then Demario Houston got within 1 interception of the single season total. So a big game last week where Shelby set the record books into high gear.
Well, no doubt about it, and the Golden Lions are looking for another big game tonight. And Burns is playing the best football of their season thus far. As you said, won 3 out of the last 4 and had an open week. So it'll be interesting to see how this game comes out, because you can throw the record books out on these county matchups. And another thing, I was reading Shelby Star, Alan Ford had an interesting column this week saying that this is one of the more closely contested rivalries in the county, because over the last 25 years Shelby's won 13 and Burns has won 12.
Yeah, it's been tight, and Shelby really dominated the series that started back in 1968 over the first 3 decades. They were 20-3 heading into the 90s. And like you said, Burns has closed the gap quite a bit, including 4 in a row. So since 2010, Shelby hasn't won this decade. And so Shelby's looking at this game like, hey, we need to get back on track, and maybe even considering themselves the underdogs, if you would.
Well, that's true. And, the secret to Burns' success has been the fact that they've been able to move the football a little bit better, because they've done a great job defensively all year. But when you look at Burns' defensive statistics, one of the problems that you see that Burns has is that they've been on the field so long that when you get into the late third and fourth quarter, they've given up a lot of points and a lot of yards. But since the offense has now come alive somewhat for Burns, the defense is not having to stay on the field quite as much, and so their statistics have really improved over the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, Cameron Barbie's getting more comfortable. He started this season, first time he's really played quarterback in quite a while. And we saw that in the Jamboree, just maybe not that comfortable back there. Plus, Burns was searching for the right combination on the offensive line. And what we've seen is Cameron Barbie's come a long way, as has the offensive line. And now they're taking a little more of the quick passing game. They're starting to run the ball with authority. A.J. Camp's been hot lately. Guys like Trey Cannon in the passing game. So Burns is not the team that they were back at the Jamboree or even in the first couple weeks of the season.
Well, another thing, Barbie missed one game on account of illness, but since he missed that game, he's really done a great job. He's thrown a couple of touchdown passes. In fact, he threw a very important touchdown pass at the end of the game, their East Rutherford game 2 weeks ago, and brought their team back to had a big comeback, and they won that game. Also, they've had some really good running in the last month by A.J. Camp, who has 336 yards for the year, but again, a big number of that has been just in the past few weeks, and so Burns has got to feel good about the fact they seem to be hitting their stride right now.
Their offense is playing better, but it's that defense really that's carried them. Gave up 13 points to East Rutherford, just 7 to East Burke. They gave up 3 to Chase. So that defense is really playing well, and I think that's what's going to have to keep them in the game tonight. And then the offense is going to have to run some time clock because everybody knows you give Shelby the ball, they can score quickly. So Burns is going to try to hold on to it, I'm sure, as much as they can tonight and keep the first down markers going at little tiny clips at a time.
And it's almost as if it's the immovable object versus the unstoppable force, because Burns is only giving up 66 yards per game passing for the year, and the Golden Lions are throwing for 210 yards per game. And so, you got 210 yards versus 66 yards, and so somebody is going to be successful tonight. And so I think a lot has to do with, is it going to be the Burns defense that's able to shut down the Shelby offense, or is it going to be the Shelby offense that's able to throw the ball against Burns?
So I guess that's a good segue into the next clip. So we'll take a break. We'll take a 3-minute break on this Cleveland Regional Medical Center in-stadium pregame show, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about how Shelby's going to do that to that Burns defense. So we'll do that after this 3-minute break.
Till noon on Saturday. Online at roundupshelby.com. For over 100 years, the Stamey Funeral Home in Falston has been providing services to families of our community with care and compassion. And now the Stamey Funeral Home has added a new cremation center along with their new name, the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center. And they want to take this time to invite you to their open house Sunday afternoon, October 19th from 2 to 4 p.m. The Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center on Highway 182 in Falston, and the Stamey Cherryville Funeral Home on Dixie Street in Cherryville.
Here, lizard, lizard, lizard.
Oh no, it's total mayhem.
Hurry, call your good neighbor.
You can't. They're not even there.
Why, they can't even lend a good hand. Oh. Relax. At Pegram Insurance, we've got you covered. Pegram Insurance Agency, 220 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, and in the Town and Country Shopping Center in Lincoln. Considering hardwood flooring for your home? Then head to Flooring America in Kings Mountain or Carpet One Interiors in Ramlow. Right now at both locations, you'll find a big selection of in-stock hardwoods for sale, priced as low as $2.99 a square foot. That's right, only $2.99 a square foot. At Flooring America, 602 Slater Street in Kings Mountain and Carpet One Interiors in Ranlow.
We all hear about how good the barbecue is in Lexington, Greensboro, and in eastern North Carolina. But here in Cleveland County, we all know that the best barbecue is here. At Alston Bridges Barbecue, Kent and Linda Bridges and their family make sure the staple of their restaurant is the best barbecue. Your choice, pork, beef, or chicken, plus delicious sides, such as slaw, beans, fries, and hush puppies. The best since Alston and Mabel opened in 1955. Alston Bridges Barbecue, 620 Grover Street, right here in Shelby.
Hi, this is Woody Durham for Mark Dedman's Carolina Trophies in Shelby. Through the years, I've seen a lot of trophies and plaques, and none appear nicer than those which come from Mark Dedman's Carolina Trophies. Their guarantee is not just a guarantee, but a promise for courteous service, the absolute lowest price, quality products, on-time delivery, and most of all, your satisfaction. Awards for all occasions plus rubber stamps and engraving. That's Mark Dedman's Carolina Trophies in Shelby.
Former club members Denzel Washington and Jennifer Lopez for the Boys and Girls Clubs.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future.
You can change a child's future. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs.
We said going to the break we were going to talk about the keys on the offense for Shelby, and of course when you're coming off a 64-point game, I guess the key is keep doing what you did last week.
Well, no doubt about it. And as we said, Burns has done a particularly good job pass defense, and Shelby's done a particularly good job on pass offense. And so, obviously, keep doing what you've been doing. I think one of the keys to this game is going to be the health of Cavassier Shell. When Jaden Borders, everybody knows Jaden Borders, and he's done a great job, 45 receptions, 646 yards. But one of the reasons that he's been able to be such a big part of offense is that you put him opposite Cavassier Shell, and if you want to try to double team Borders, then Shell's one-on-one, and Cavassier has 19 receptions for 337 yards. In fact, Cavassier is averaging 17.7 yards per reception, whereas Borders is only averaging 14.4 yards per reception. And so Cavassier is very important, along with Devin Gillette, who again has been he's only had 3 receptions this year, but he missed several games due to injury earlier. But Borders is a given. So the question is, if Burns does something to try to take away Borders, who can Shelby go to?
Yeah, and the other forgotten guy is Caleb Jolly. He hasn't had a lot of catches this year, but he's had 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. He had 2 against East Burke, and then he had 1 last week against East Rutherford. So, Caleb now is somebody that you got to think about in that passing game. In fact, RJ hit 4 different receivers for touchdowns last week when you throw in Chad Reed catching a touchdown pass. And, Chad did something last week that was pretty cool. He went over 100 both rushing and receiving. And I look back at his game totals. He's had 400-yard rushing games in 8 games, and it's been every other game. Week 2, week 4, week 6, week 8. So that would mean this week he's supposed to go under 100 in the rushing game, but I think Shelby would like to get him back over 100 again tonight.
Well, no doubt about it. And the other thing that you have to mention, R.J. George had the most time that he'd had up to this whole year this past week, which is a little bit surprising because we felt that East Rutherford had a pretty good defense, and they had done a lot of interesting stunts and blitzes and put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And so we were wondering, how that offensive line would stand up against it, but they passed with flying colors. And so RJ, when he's not having to run for his life, it's that much better. And so what Burns has done a great job with all year, even when they were struggling, is controlling the line of scrimmage. And so again, we'll need to have a great effort by the offensive line, who has steadily improved as the year goes, but that offensive line is going to have to give RJ time to throw. And the other thing, if you can rush the ball effectively, then the throw is completely opened up.
Yeah, and we talked, Chad Reed with over 100 yards rushing. Dede Brooks had a good game last week. He had a long touchdown run, and he's had almost 200 yards rushing in the last 4 games and 3 touchdowns. So, again, you can't just key on Chad Reed because Dede Brooks can do it and hit the home run ball too. So Shelby, really now becoming more of a potent offense rather than just a couple of guys putting up big numbers. And so I think that just gives Burns a little bit more to think about tonight with the various receivers out there and the running backs. I'll tell you what, let's take another 3-minute break. Looks like we're getting ready for the national anthem, so maybe we can time this just right, Steve Roberts. We'll take a 3-minute break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the keys on defense for Shelby to stop this Burns offense, and we'll do that right after this break.
Great futures start here.
You can open doors for children to have great futures at the Boys and Girls Club of Cleveland County. Visit us at 412 West Sumter Street or at greatfutures.org.
Carolina Energies is your heating and air service experts. They service all brands and feature complete installations. 24-hour service is available with on-call technicians. And this spring and summer, keep your family comfortable with a peace of mind service plan from Carolina Energies. It will keep you cool and save you money on costly repairs. For more information, call 704-482-9561. Carolina Energies, 515 North DeKalb Street in Shelby.
Baseball players rely on lots of coaches. First base, third base, pitching, and catching. But when it comes to insurance, you only need one coach, an Allstate agent. They'll help you with your insurance game plan. Plus, Allstate agents can bundle your coverage for your car, apartment, boat, motorcycle, and more. So you've got all your bases covered. Are you in good hands?
Your local Allstate agency is the Chris McDaniel Allstate Insurance Agency, 404 Cherryville Road, across from the YMCA in Shelby. Call 704-484-3463.
Hi, this is Woody Durham for Doctors Doug Stroud, Jim Wilson, and Craig Thompson at Family Dental Care in Shelby. No matter the age, kids, teenagers, and adults, Dr. Stroud, Wilson, and Thompson will take care of your dental needs. They have over 50 years' experience serving the people of Cleveland County. Call 704-482-3281 for Family Dental Care at 416 West Warren Street in Shelby. That's Doctors Doug Stroud, Jim Wilson, and Craig Thompson. Kids love them, and you will too.
Since 1919, yes, 1919, Griffin Drug Store in downtown Kings Mountain has been serving the people of the Kings Mountain area with the finest in prescription service. And be sure to come in and ask about the 10% senior citizen discount. And most prescription cards are honored at Griffin Drug Center, 129 West Mountain Street in downtown Kings Mountain. Since 1919. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 12 on Saturday. That's Griffin Drug Center in Kings Mountain. Remember, it wasn't raining when Noah started building the ark. For all of your waterproofing needs, stay high and dry with a call to H&H Pest Control and Waterproofing. H&H Pest Control and Waterproofing does all types of waterproofing, from basements to crawl spaces, from commercial to residential. Call 704-482-2847, 704-482-2847 for H&H Pest Control and Waterproofing, East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
A child's life is so precious, yet all around us, children's lives are being destroyed by drugs. Take an active role in your child's life. Teach them that a healthy, drug-free lifestyle is their best choice. A word from Hooker Bonding of Shelby, our area's quality professionals, a name you can trust and depend on. Hooker Bonding is working today for a brighter tomorrow for our children.
The Round Man, Okie Knipe, invites you into Okie's Tire and Service Center for all your tire and auto service needs. Okie gives you the best value in tires, both new and used tires, and they'll mount and balance your tires free. Come into Okie Service Center for all your service needs, including radiator flush, brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, and state inspections. Serving Cleveland County since 1978. That's right, over 35 years. Okie's Tire and Service Center, 800 West Warren Street in Shelby.
Inlow Mortuary is in its 90th year providing sympathetic, efficient services to the families of the Shelby area. Inlow's is committed to these families to make sure their arrangements are handled in the most professional, caring way. The folks at Inlow's believe the quality of their service, personal touch, and the little things they do add up to the family's satisfaction. Inlow's staff is available anytime to assist you in any way they can. Inlow Mortuary, 231 North Lafayette Street in Shelby.
Shelby Savings Bank has been a part of the Cleveland County community for over 100 years. Our mission is to help the Cleveland County community grow and prosper. What distinguishes Shelby Savings is our deep relationships with our customers, knowing their names, treating them as individuals, and understanding all that they do. It's banking that fits your life.
Locations in Uptown and at the Cleveland Mall. Shelby Savings Bank, a home trust bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We're approaching kickoff in about 10 minutes, so we went to the break, so we would talk about the keys to the Shelby defense, stopping the Burns offense, and it starts up front with that front four of Clay Husky, Siobhan Miller, Nick Terrell, Clemens, Nick Terrell, and really, Trayshawn Borders is in that mix as well.
Well, I mean, if you look at the tackling stats for Shelby, Siobhan Miller has 35 total tackles as far as tackles and assists. Clemens has 30. Terrell has 34. Clay Husky has 62. And so that is definitely, where the offense starts. The other people that you have to mention, Dax Harfield, true freshman, 52 points total as far as tackles and assists and other things. And of course, G9, the man that we called his name over and over and over again, 10 tackles, 27 assists, 17 tackles for loss. 17 tackles for loss and 3 sacks. And so if these guys have a good game, then we feel that Shelby's going to be in good shape, especially if Demario Houston and the defensive secondary continues to play as well as they've been playing.
Yeah, Demario Houston with 9 of Shelby's 14 interceptions on the season. Aaron Jolly's got a couple, and then there's a few guys with 1. Those include Damian Key and Delvin Mitchell and Buck Usry. You mentioned the 17 tackles for loss by G9, and then you got to mention that those 2 defensive ends, Siobhan Miller with 11 tackles for loss and 6 sacks, and Clay Husky with 22 tackles for loss and 9 sacks. And then between those 2 guys, they've blocked 6 punts and an extra point on the season and scored a touchdown on an off-a-block field goal. So those 2 guys have been very disruptive to the other team's offense all year long.
No doubt about it. And when you throw in the 14 interceptions that Shelby has taken, and the fact that as the year has gone on, the average yards rushing per game has continued to drop. It's down to 152 yards a game right now. And after about the 3rd game of the year, we were up averaging well over 200 yards per game. And so what's interesting to see is everybody knows about Shelby's passing game. Shelby's averaging 149 yards rushing per game and giving up 152 yards rushing per game. And so if Shelby is to have success tonight, they're going to have to do a great job shutting down the Burns running game, because that does seem to be the bread and butter for Burns.
It does, and I would say that plays right into Shelby's hands, but the trouble Shelby has had this year in a couple of games are with the running game, and that was South Point. I guess you could argue RS Central hit us with a couple of big pass plays in that game, but really it was that South Point game and the AC Reynolds game where we had a little bit of trouble stopping that run.
Well, absolutely, and when the team comes out and the great success that they've had in their last 4 games has been mainly on the ground, and as they've been able to run it better, then it has opened up their passing game. And so again, we're we're facing Burns when they're playing their best football of the year, and so that's why it ought to be just a fascinating matchup tonight.
Well, it's a pink out here at Burns High School, breast cancer awareness, and you've got a lot of students in the pink. You've got the cheerleaders with pink tights on tonight. You've got the yard markers, 50, 40, 30, and so on, all filled in with pink. You've got the Burns players wearing pink socks as well. So it's a pink out here at Burns for breast cancer awareness, and we want to recognize that as well.
And from a Golden Lion perspective, what we can hope is that the other game that we've faced against the pink out group was the game where East Burke, this is one you missed, East Burke actually came out wearing pink jerseys, and it was definitely a big night for cancer survivors, and so we would hope that Shelby would be as successful in this pink out as they were 2 weeks ago.
Shelby team captains tonight along the way, across the way, Demario Houston, R.J. George, I can't tell if Chad Reed and G9 Gary and Addison, and so it's tough to find a better foursome of seniors in that group right there.
No doubt about it, and I tell you, one of the things that as we go to different places, this is a very, very crowded press box. I mean, we are sitting on top of each other, and the other thing is Burns is wearing the light blue jerseys and the gold numbers, and they are hard to see, and so we'll do our best tonight, but if we say, well, we can't tell exactly who that was, it's because of the numbers being so difficult to see.
Burns captains tonight, number 1, Mike Tate, number 3, Kyle Carroll, 22, Zach Leslie, and 62, Adam Peeler. And it's about time for the coin toss, and we know what Shelby's going to do should Shelby win this toss. And we'll give you those results in a minute. Let's talk a little bit about special teams, Coach. Shelby's given up a lot of touchdowns in the return game. Only have one of their own. That was a punt return for touchdown by Chad Reed. So, it's not been the punt or the field goals. It's been the coverage that's been the one, area for improvement on that Shelby special teams.
Well, that's true, and we've mentioned that the big bugaboo has been, the big return, and but you also mentioned last week that it's feast or famine. I mean, it was like the Golden Lions would make a tackle inside the 20 on the kickoff, or they would give up a touchdown, and that will drive the special teams coordinator and the head coach absolutely crazy. And so again, we've talking to the coaches and talking to some of the players this week. The Golden Lions tried to make a few personnel changes, and we're hoping that first off, we're hoping that we get to see a lot of kickoffs by the Golden Lions tonight, and hopefully we'll continue to do a good job covering the punt, with the exception of that one punt return that we've given up for a touchdown.
Well, those kickoffs, in which Shelby had 10 of them last week, Jim and Jay's Pizza Factory is our sponsor for that, and Richard Wright got to kick off 10 times last week. That was because Shelby put 9 touchdowns on the board and then had the second half kickoff on top of that. So Richard got his name called out quite a bit last week for extra points and kickoffs, and hopefully we do the same tonight. Let's take one more 2-minute break on this Cleveland Regional Medical Center in-stadium pregame show. We'll come back with the kickoff right after this.
Keep warm this winter and save money too with the new Echo SunTech infrared heater from Cleveland Lumber Company in Shelby. It's a 3-in-1 product, an infrared heater, a humidifier, and an air purifier with a 5-year factory warranty on the PTC heat element. The Echo SunTech infrared heater allows you to heat by zones instead of an entire area. Zone heating allows you to keep unoccupied areas cooler than normal, thereby reducing your heating bill. See one today at Cleveland Lumber Company, 217 Harewood Street in Shelby. Good credit, bad credit, no credit? Apply today and ride today at Full Throttle Power Sports in Lowell. Pick up this week's What's Up Shopper for some great deals with zero money down and rates as low as 2.99%. See the new Polaris Ranger 500 Crew for as low as $10,000. The brand new Yamaha Grizzly 125 is only $35.99. And for the lake, get the 2014 Yamaha Superjet for only $71.50. Full Throttle Power Sports, exit 22 off I-85 in Laurel, online at ncfullthrottle.com. From soak to spin, the Whirlpool Duet Washer and Dryer Repair from Hendrick Appliance in Shelby and Gastonia are designed with features that do more, so you have to do less. With advanced features that sense and adapt to provide the perfect clean automatically, your clothes will never look newer, and laundry day will look a whole lot easier. See them today at your nearest Hendrick Appliance, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, and at 4027 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. Remember the name, Hendrick Appliance. Honda's line of 4-Trax Rancher all-terrain vehicles are America's favorite ATVs because they're always improving. That's especially true with the all-new 2014 Ranchers, like the new double cradle steel chassis and aggressively styled bodywork that's just as tough as it is good-looking. So head on down to Honda of Shelby, Highway 74 Bypass East in Shelby, and see the entire 2014 Honda Rancher line. You'll see why these midsize ATVs are truly the best on earth. Honda of Shelby, Highway 74 East.
Burns elected to defer, put their defense on the field first tonight. Of course, that is exactly what Shelby wanted, and that's the ball first, Coach. So both teams get what they want, and that's Burns' defense on the field, Shelby's offense on the field. And before I forget, let's do our Oro Supermarket and Broad River Hams players to watch tonight. I'll go defense, and for no other reason than he has a chance to set the school record for interceptions. I'm going to go Demario Houston, who's been just a lockdown corner so far this season for Shelby.
And offensively, I'm going to go with Chad Reed because we talked so much about the passing game. I still think the run game is going to be pretty crucial.
So you have it there, Oro Supermarket and Broad River Hams players to watch tonight. Defensively, Demario Houston. Offensively, Chad Reed, and we're set for the kickoff, and that's 32, Christopher Proctor. Got it teed up, and it's a short kickoff taken by the upback, and that's Chad Reed at the 24-yard line. He's across the 30, hit hard, and he's going to go down at about the 31. Let's see if they give him any more forward progress. And Shelby will take over 1st and 10 at the 31. Nice tackle there on special teams by Burns as Chad took a pretty good lick.
That was a really nice tackle, and when Chad got hit, he tried to bounce off of it, but they had nothing. There was nothing to be done about that, and so a great tackle. So Shelby comes out, and this game is underway.
Well, it looks like Cavassier Shill's in the starting lineup, so Shelby with the one back, and Burns shows a blitz. Shelby picks it up. RJ rolls to his right, and he's got a man short, but he throws it just out of the reach of Chad Reed out of the backfield. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
That was one of those situations that looked like RJ was expecting Chad to move farther down the field, and Chad just set up where he was, and so the pass was thrown pretty much in no man's land. Nobody had a chance to catch that one.
Yeah, Chad was open over there on the sideline. Probably could have made a little bit after that catch that he pulled it in. 2nd and 10, and again, George back in the shotgun. He's got 3 receivers right, and there's a flag out from the sidelines here over on Burns, and it looks like a sideline warning on the Burns coaching staff. So they'll pick that up and just consider that a warning, and hopefully won't see that again. Burns has a big defensive end there in Jordan DeStefano, 17, and he's going to pull down, on cue, he's going to pull down Chad Reed in the backfield on 2nd and bring up a 3rd and long situation.
Absolutely, and you mentioned DeStefano is a good-sized young man, and he's also plays tight end for the Bulldogs, and so he's one of the guys that goes both ways for Burns High. This is a big play here, 3rd and 10 for the Golden Lions at their own 31-yard line.
Shelby now with an empty backfield, 2 receivers left, 3 right, and DeStefano's got a beat, but George gets the pass off complete to Chad Reed. And what an open field tackle by Burns as Chad gets the catch and no more. He's only going to pick up 3 yards, and Shelby's going to have to punt on 4th and 7.
Well, very impressive defensive stand by the Bulldogs, and another thing you got to mention is Burns only brought 3 rushers that time, and DeStefano did a great job of beating the left tackle that time. So Richard Wright's back to punt, so Shelby's will snap it from 34.
Low snap handled by Wright, and he gets off a really good punt that sends Burns, return man, deep, and Shelby's all over this one. Is Burns only going to get a couple yards on the return, and they're going to take over at their own 32. So Wright continues his nice kicking ways. Damian Harden was the return man. He gets about 3 on the return.
Yeah, and Richard had a 41-yard kick. Great hang time. Actually, the Burns kick returner made one man miss, but no more than that. So Burns has got to be pretty happy here starting on their 32, 3 and out by Shelby.
Well, it's A.J. Camp there in the backfield. He's the lone running back, and he gets the call on first down, and he's got about 2, maybe 3 out to the 34.5-yard line. He's brought down by Dax Hollifield for Shelby.
Well, as we said, Shelby comes out trying to throw the ball, Burns comes out trying to run the ball, and Burns is immediately on the ball. So it looks like there'll be no huddles tonight, Brent Pasco.
Nope, they're just shy of the 35. Looks like about 2-yard gain. Second and a long 7, short 8 for the Bulldogs, and they look to the sideline. Barbie's checking his wrist for the play. They got a heavy set on the left side, and the throw's going over to the left, and overshot receiver who is, was that Harden, 40?
Yeah, I think it was, number 40, Harden. And again, pass was thrown just a little bit behind him. Had he caught it, it was going to be a pretty minimal gain of about 4 yards. Good coverage that time by the goal line secondary.
Third down 8, maybe a long 7. And Houston's got the coverage over there on Harden. Shelby doing some shifting on the defensive line, and back to passes Barbie. He's got heavy pressure. He goes down, sacked by Aaron Jolly. No, that's Buck Ushery, 24. So Buck gets in there and gets the sack on the blitz.
And a very nice spot that time by the official. Puts the ball all the way up at the 28-yard line. But again, that was one of the big things that we should have mentioned, Shelby's defensive pressure against Burns' offensive line.
Loss of 6 is going to make it 4th down 14. And Shelby's creeping up Chad Reed. It's going to be a rugby-style punt, but it's actually not too bad. It's going to be fielded by Demario Houston at the 43. He makes one guy miss, gets out to about the 47, maybe the 48-yard line.
Well, the big difference there is Burns just had a 28-yard punt, whereas Shelby had a 41-yard punt, and so Shelby's starting to fit field position right now. They're going to start their second possession on their own 48-yard line. No score here with 9:13 left in the first quarter.
So Shelby in great field position for this drive number 2. Let's see if they can make a little something happen. First down handoff to Chad Reed, and he's bouncing his way out across midfield, and now he's to the Burns 48. He picks up 4 hard, tough yards there.
Yeah, that was, again, that just shows that the Burns defense, as far as the run scheme, they're as good as advertised, because Chad made as good a run as he's had in quite some time, and that was a 4-yard gain.
2nd and 6, Shelby up quickly to the line. And it's going to be Reed again. This time he's met immediately by 58, Brian Atkins. And that's a 2-yard loss for the Golden Lions. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8.
Again, very impressed, as we said, that the Burns defensive front has dominated the line of scrimmage in the first half of every game they played this year. And so far, in the first 4 minutes of this game, they have been just as dominant. 3rd and 8 for the Golden Lions at midfield.
Shelby back to the empty backfield. 3 receivers left, 2 right. Ball right in the middle of the field. DeStefano gets pressure again. George gets the pass off earlier than he wanted to. It's intended for Chad Reed and falls incomplete. I think we might get a hold on Shelby, as DeStefano had the beat on George, and left tackle for Shelby was trying to protect his quarterback, and it is a hold.
Yeah, and that's just a double whammy when you end up holding and still end up getting the quarterback hit. So, again, props to Burns. Another 3 and out for Shelby.
So Burns wisely declines the penalty, and that brings up a 4th down. So George 1 of 3 so far for just 3 yards passing, and Shelby with just 2 yards rushing on 3 carries. So the Burns defense has been very good so far. And Richard Wright's on for another punt, this one from right on midfield marker. Great snap, no pressure. Wright gets away, a little bit of an end over end. Harden fields it at the 15 with a little head of steam, but Clay Husky's all over that one. And he takes him down. Harden goes down at the 20. And they're calling Colburn. I wonder if he didn't switch jerseys. He did.
He did. That's it.
All right.
Colburn is number 40.
So, excuse me, so all these Hardens I'm calling out is Scooter Colburn, number 40. And he gets to the 20. I thought he'd gotten a little bit farther than that, but they're calling him down right at the 20.
Burns quicker on the ball.
And again, it's a handoff to Camp, and here's G9 in the backfield. That's going to be a big loss of 4 yards on first down.
And so thus far, the defenses have been dominant tonight. Second down and probably about 13 for Burns here on their own 17-yard line. Again, 7:45 left in the first quarter, no score. No first downs.
So that's a loss of 3 on the tackle for loss. Another tackle for loss for G9, adding to his big season total. And so now I see why Houston was on Colburn earlier. This time he's on Leslie, and it's Colburn that goes in motion. Jolly's on the coverage there. 2nd and 13, handoff again to Camp, and he's breaking tackles this time as he gets yardage out to the 24-yard line. Picks up nice run there. It's going to still bring up a 3rd and about 6.
I believe they're going to actually put it all the way up at the 25-yard line, so that was a nice 8-yard gain, and that was very hard running that time by A.J. Camp, the leading ball carrier for Burns. So 3rd and 5, a lot better. 2nd 13 to 3rd and 5, you got to feel pretty good about that if you're the Bulldogs.
They do feel good about that, and they're up quickly again for the play. And it's going to be a quick pass, and almost picked off by DeMonte Poole. Pass intended for Scooter Colburn, but thrown just a little bit ahead of Scooter, and DeMonte almost had the pick.
Yeah, nice break on the ball. And again, what Burns decided to do was they had to get rid of the ball very quickly, so that was going to be a quick about 5-yard slant. And again, no first downs thus far. 6:40 left in the first quarter. Bulldogs getting ready to punt from their 25-yard line.
Well, here's the place where Shelby's been awfully dangerous. When they put 10 men up on that line, they've gotten to the punter several times, and somehow Chad Reed misses this one. Punt gets off, and it takes a Shelby bounce, then a Burns bounce, and it's going to be down at the 40. Wow, I can't believe Chad missed that one.
Yeah, I don't know how he missed that, and it turned out to be a 35-yard punt, which is a very nice punt. But it's like he said, well, this guy wants to run to the right, and so I'm going to run just to his right. And like I said, like you said, I don't know how he got that thing off. But Shelby, again, great field position, but thus far they haven't been able to do anything with it.
No, when we talked in the pregame, might be one of those low-scoring games if Burns' defense is able to do what they would like to do. And they have so far. 1st and 10 Shelby, still 6:30 to go, first quarter. And a handoff to Chad Reed. He tries to bounce one to the outside. And, he gets about 3, but Zach Leslie takes him down after just a short gain. So Chad unable to get the sideline.
Again, very impressive Burns defense. So it's going to be 2nd and a long 7, a short 8. It looked like that had a lot more going for it than it actually did.
Well, Shelby trying to get that run established. They just haven't been able to get much going. Just 4 yards on 4 carries so far. But they're at least keeping with it. 2nd down 8 from the Shelby 42. And it's a quick pass out to the flats. Caught by Jaden Borders, but he's going to lose a couple of yards back to the original line of scrimmage as Burns is all over that one again.
Absolutely. And again, every play has just been a very good play by the Burns defense. Nice quick throw, set up the screen, but nothing doing. Part of that screen is the offensive linemen and other split ends have to get downfield and make a block, and there were no blocks made that time. So again, big play, 3rd and 10 for the goal lines.
And the Burns coaching staff signaling something, and here comes DeStefano again, and almost picked off by Kyle Carroll as RJ tried to go down the seam to Jaden Borders and underthrew it. And Jaden was behind the defense, but it was actually Carroll that made a good play to go up high and knock that one down.
Well, Shelby's got to do something because DeStefano has been living on George's backside, and so we're going to have to do something to pick him up because, again, 3-man rush and great pressure on George.
Back to punt is right for the third time. He gets off a good one. Fair catch signal by Colburn, and he'll take it at the 25. So teams exchanging punts. Shelby with 3 already, Burns with 2. And the first quarter with 5:01 left has a scoreless Medical Arts Pharmacy scoreboard.
And we haven't been able to mention any first downs. We just have had one kickoff, and so somebody's going to have to get busy, or we're not going to get a lot of props to our sponsors here.
I'll tell you, RJ is back to that RJ of a few weeks ago where the offensive line's making him run for his life. He's not able to get his feet planted and get the throws done like he wants to do. On first down, A.J. Camp takes it, and he's a pinball bouncing in between Shelby tacklers. Finally taken down by G9, and he gets just a couple.
Again, both defenses totally dominant to this point. We are now at 4:42. Clock still moving, no score.
Another second and long. His first down has been all defense for both squads tonight. Second down 8, and Barbie keeps it, and he's got running room. Problem is, Shelby closed quickly, and that was Dax Hollifield. He's going to get Barbie for maybe a 2-yard gain. He's going to bring up a 4th and a long 6.
That was a very good fake by Barbie that time, and that was kind of the newfangled option, because Barbie had an option to pass the ball, but the receiver was covered as well. So good play by the goal line defense.
3rd and 6, Shelby switching all around, and Shelby jumps into the neutral zone.
Well, at the same time, we have number 10 for Burns. He's moving forward too, so it's going to be interesting to see if it's going to be Hopper or Shelby, and it is going to be Shelby. First penalty of the night.
So that's 5 yards, but it's still going to bring up a 3rd down and 1. Problem is, Shelby was licking his chops on that 3rd and 6. They were coming blitz, and they were just a little too anxious that day.
Absolutely, and so we have the chance for the first down of the night by either team here. 3rd down and 1. Clock still moving at 3:50 left in the first quarter.
Look for 33 to get it here, and it is a handoff to Camp, and Camp's twisting and spinning his way to a first down as he's up to the 38-yard line, and he's actually to the 39, so he picks up 5, needed 1.
Pilgrim Insurance first down for Burns, although we don't generally call them Pilgrim Insurance first downs when the opposition gets them. But we just haven't been able to mention Pilgrim Insurance, so I thought we'd go ahead and give them some props here.
Burns 1st and 10 at the 39, 3:29 to go. First quarter, no score. And Barbie gets a quick pass off in the flat. It's tipped at the line of scrimmage and almost picked off by guess who? Demario Houston. Falls incomplete.
Yeah, and when Demario looks at that on film, he's going to be a little bit upset because he was coming forward to put a good shot on the receiver, and I don't think he saw that ball tip, because had he seen it tipped, he could have picked it and gone 6.
Yeah, it took just a little steam off it, knocks it up in the air, but like you said, he was delivering the hit to Colburn. 2nd and 10 Burns, and it's a handoff to Camp, and he's picking his way over the right side. Shelby hanging on for dear life, and it's going to be a short pickup of maybe 3, bring up a 3rd and 7.
Big play for Burns now.
And let's see where, they're going to give him 3. So 3rd and 7, this is where, Shelby's licking his chops with the blitz. Let's see if Burns goes with a hard count again and gets that Shelby defense to jump. Worked last time, but instead Burns is going to call timeout. So Steve Roberts, let's take a 30-second break, and we'll come back with this big 3rd down play.
Medical Arts Pharmacy is your locally owned independent hometown pharmacy. Unlike the big chain stores, Medical Arts Pharmacy calls you by name and treats you like family and friends, not a number. Medical Arts has more National Board certified technicians and personnel than other pharmacies to keep down your waiting time on prescriptions. Online refills at medicalartsofshelby.com. Medical Arts Pharmacy, 108 Grover Street near the hospital in Shelby. Call 704-487-8068.
Back to Ron Green Stadium here at Burns High School. 0-0 score here with 2:52 to go. First quarter, Burns with a big 3rd down and 7 from their 42-yard line. And a minute ago, they converted a 3rd and 1 for the first down by either team. And they have a chance here to convert their 2nd. And Barbie back to pass. He gets rid of it quickly. Complete, actually dropped. His tight end had to come back for the ball and wasn't able to hang on to it. So it's going to bring up a 4th down and 7, and the punt unit comes on for Burns.
And the good news for Shelby on that is even if the ball had been complete, he had to come back, and it was going to be a very minimal gain of about 4 yards, so it was still going to be about 4th down and 4.
Back deep for Shelby is Demario Houston, and Shelby showing a 9-guy front. Let's see if they creep Justin Turner over and come after this one. A little bit of movement, and again Chad Reed comes within a handshake of blocking that one. Punt goes out of bounds at the Shelby 31-yard line. They'll take over for there with the 4th drive of the night. So Shelby with 3 drives so far, and it's been 3 and outs.
Yeah, and I don't know that that's happened all year, and so it's very important for the Golden Lions to get something going right now, because the Golden Lion defense has been on the field pretty much all night long.
R.J. George comes out. He's just 2 for 5 tonight for 1 yard. He's completed a 3-yard pass to Chad Reed and then a -2-yard pass to Jaden Borders. And on 1st and 10, he's slinging it. He fakes the pass out, and he's going up. And he got Jaden Borders at midfield, and Borders is going to have a Pigram Insurance 1st down for the Golden Lions. But I'll tell you, it's a great tackle after the catch by Burns, because Jaden has been great after the catch tonight all season.
All season he's been great, and again, you've got to really give some props to the Burns defense, because they are as sure a tackling group as we've seen this year. Big difference that time was that R.J. George had plenty of time to deliver that pass.
23-yard completion, and Shelby's got 1st down in Burns territory, and on 1st down is Chad Reed, again finding tough sledding. He gets 2, and that's about it. To bring up 2nd down and 8, but I got to commend Shelby for sticking with the run, because you gotta show that ability so that it can open up the passing game.
Yeah, no way can we afford to be one-dimensional. 2 minutes left in the 1st quarter, still no score.
Big 2nd and 8 for Shelby, and Burns showing blitz this time. Shelby hands it off to Reed. He's hitting the backfield, and he's trying to fight back towards the line of scrimmage, but he's going to unfortunately lose a yard, maybe 2. The spot on this side a lot worse, and now after the play, a flag comes out.
I think Reed was upset at some of the late hits. He's going to be signaled for the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Reed making his way over to the sideline, very upset. Took his helmet off, and we really can't afford 15-yard penalties.
So it's a loss of 1 on the play to bring up a 3rd and 9, but then it's a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, so that's going to take it all the way back to a 3rd and 24 back at the Shelby 40-yard line, and Shelby's got a big hole to dig itself out of here. 3rd and 24.
3rd and 24. But if anybody can do that, it's the Golden Lions, and so they've been stacking their receivers on both sides. Now it's back to more regular looking formation.
And again, DeStefano beats his man, and RJ has to get rid of it quickly. That pass was intended for Borders on the right sideline, but he had triple coverage.
Well, he got a flag down, and that's in the area that you usually see some type of interference.
So let's see. I thought DeStefano got held again on that pass rush.
And it is pass interference on Burns, which is a 15-yard penalty, and I can't remember if it's an automatic 1st down or not. I know they're all 15-yard penalties in the high school game.
Well, it's going to now make it, if it's not an automatic 1st down, it's going to be 3rd and 9.
Which is much more manageable than what we did have, and it is. It's 3rd and 9. So 15-yard penalty, that's the first penalty on Burns.
Still trying to watch this matchup with DeStefano and the left tackle for Shelby, because
DeStefano is really having a great night thus far.
3rd and 9, and now Shelby calls a timeout. So let's take another 30-second break and see what Shelby does after this timeout.
There's been no better time than right now to buy new
Service. That's hard to find when it comes to lawn and garden equipment. Not anymore. Head to Parker Farm Service in Kings Mountain. Parker Farm Service services all major brands, makes, and models. Call Mary McHenry to set up your appointment at 704-259-6130. And Parker Farm Service welcomes Kenny Barbie to their service department. 24-hour turnaround with in-house parts, plus delivery and pickup is available. Barker Farm Service on Bessie Drive at the Highway 74 bypass, Oak Grove Road intersection in Kings Mountain.
9 from the Burns 45-yard line.
And that 3rd and 9 looked so much better than it did one play ago when it was 3rd and 24.
Pass interference call gives Shelby 15 yards to the good, and now 3rd and 9. Burns is dropping back. Still a 3-man rush. This time Shelby leaves Buck Ushery in to help out, and George finds an open receiver, and that's Cavassier Shell. That's going to be a touchdown, but I got a bad feeling back at midfield is a yellow hanky.
It's where holding is always called, and he's always waving them to come back.
So that was a 45-yard touchdown pass negated by the holding call back at the 50, and that's going to be a 15-yard penalty and take it right back to the 40. So back to back 15-yard penalties, one on Shelby, one on Burns, another one on Shelby, and they're just trading 15 yards of field position with each one.
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow right there, as Golden Lions are facing that familiar 24 to go now.
And here they are again. And Cavassier Shell, who you mentioned in the pregame, was the big play guy as far as 19 yards per reception, 17 yards. And George is going to get out of the grass. We're discussing it. Then out of the grass for another guy. Runs to his right, gets the pass off. It's picked off by Burns, and they're returning it into the Shelby territory at the 38-yard line. So George avoids 2 sacks and then throws the pick, and Burns is in business.
Absolutely, and again, the Burns defense has done a fantastic job. So with 56 seconds left in the first quarter, the first big play, and Shelby 1 first down for the night.
And Shelby's kind of doing the thing that is the bad Shelby, and that is penalties are killing them right now. And turnovers haven't been too bad so far, but there was the first one. RS Central 7, Kings Mountain 0 in county action. Of course, we didn't mention, but Crest is at East Burke tonight. We'll try to keep some scores and updates on that as well.
And Burns is just taking their second time out, Brett.
All right, let's take 30 more seconds. Steve Roberts, get a spot. We'll be back with Burns football.
Homestar Mortgage is now in their new location at 824 South DeKalb Street in Shelby, right next to the DQ. You're invited to come by and see their new offices. And when it comes to a home loan, see Homestar Mortgage. Talk with Bob Webb about your new home. From conventional loans to FHA to VA to USDA, and all loan programs are available to qualified buyers. Find out more today. Visit the new Homestar Mortgage, now in the new location at 824 South DeKalb Street in Shelby next to DQ. Call 704-482-2588. Homestar Mortgage, it's the easiest way home.
First and 10 at the Shelby 38-yard line. 56 seconds to go first quarter. Burns just had to burn their second timeout, Coach, but might be worth it if they can come out with a good game plan here.
Well, what I find really interesting is after that timeout, Burns ended up picking up about half a yard because the sticks are sitting outside the 38 and the ball is on the 38.
And official timeout before the plays. And now they start the clock back. So Burns back to pass. Barbie's going up top. He's threatening Demario Houston. And I think Burns may come down with a catch. What a catch by Zach Leslie as he goes up high against Demario Houston and comes down with the catch. And Houston was in position, Coach, and went up. I think Leslie just went a little bit higher.
Yeah, he did. And Chad Demario's upset because he said that the catch was made out of bounds. And he was so upset that it looks like they're going to throw a flag, and it's just going to be that much worse for the Golden Lions. If this is a flag on Shelby, it's going to be first and goal on the 3.
So that pass goes for 32 yards. And then tack on a 3-yard penalty, and Shelby not quite themselves right now with the unsportsmanlike penalties. Now it's first and goal Burns at the 3. And they've got DeStefano in there to block. And Barbie hands off, and Camp goes. I thought he went backwards, but they gave him a spot almost to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, great push by the Shelby front that time, and that was just such a strange-looking play. It looked like they set DeStefano in motion, and then he stopped, and it didn't look like he got set before they snapped the ball. I was kind of expecting to see a 5-yard penalty.
They did call a 1-yard loss back to the 4. So now it's 2nd and goal from the 4. Again, it's Camp, and he gets a couple of yards. He's down.
I think he got the touchdown.
Yeah, the second effort got him in the end zone. Touchdown. Looks like he was down at the 2-yard line, but he must not have touched down his knee.
With 11.2 seconds left in the first quarter, Burns strikes first, leading 6-0, and an extra point is pending. Also, it looks like we got a injured. Is it an injured Bulldog? I think it's an injured Bulldog.
And it is, and I think it's Camp.
Well, I think it was actually the fullback that carried that ball. I don't think it was Camp.
All right, you may be right. We'll have to get the call on that one. I'll tell you what, Steve Roberts, on the injury timeout, let's take 30 seconds, and we'll try to get this one squared away.
On a cool night, there's nothing better than fresh oyster stew. And right now, at the Ora Supermarket in Broad River Ham in Shelby, you'll find fresh bucket-dipped oysters. Or get them in a shell. Just think, fresh oyster stew for dinner tonight. And don't forget, Halloween is October 31st, and the Ora Supermarket at Broad River Hams has plenty of pumpkins in all sizes. Plus some great meat bundles, too. Ora Supermarket at Broad River Hams, 1026 East Marion Street in Shelby. Welcoming Harris Teeter and Lowe's food customers.
Here tonight, courtesy of a Mike Tate 4-yard touchdown run. There was an injured Burns lineman on the play. He's now up and walking off the field on his own. And now we'll get the extra point try for Burns. But they lead 6-0 with 11.2 seconds left first quarter. And, Coach, it took a turnover that finally was able to give a team some momentum. And Burns, off that turnover, hits Zach Leslie for a 32-yard catch down to the 6.
Two big momentum plays, the great interception and then the fantastic catch over on the sidelines.
A couple of Shelby unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, and Shelby gets their hand on the extra point, and it still gets through somehow. So even though Shelby tipped it, the kick's good. Burns leads 7-0, and we'll take a 30-second break and come back with the Jim and Jay's Pizza Factory kickoff right after this.
There's nothing like a Bobcat to cut grass, and there's no better deal than right now to own a new Bobcat from West End Sales in Vail. For only $101 a month, you can be mowing on your new Bobcat with 0% financing for 54 months. See the Bobcat Fast Cat R2 with a big 22 horsepower Kawasaki engine and a big 52-inch cut and a heavy-duty frame weighing 850 pounds, plus a 3-year, 300-hour warranty. Only $101 per month at West End Sales, Highway 2718 North Intersection, Vail.
Taking a 7-0 lead on the Golden Lions. Mike Tate goes in from 4 yards out, and Proctor's extra point makes it 7-0 Burns. And Shelby with a turnover, and it's costly, as the interception thrown by R.J. George takes Burns just 3 plays to turn in the 6 points, and the extra point gives them a 7-0 lead. Proctor's got it teed up. His last kickoff was short and taken by Chad Reed, and this time it's a ground ball fielded by Dax Hollifield at the 33, and Dax just goes to the ground at the 39 wisely, and Shelby will take over in pretty good field position. But, Coach, they don't have a first down tonight. Well, they've got one first down tonight.
Yeah, only one first down, and again, that's just a great job up front by the Burns. The Burns defensive front has dominated this game.
So Shelby, trying to answer the bell, takes over at their 39-yard line, trailing the Bulldogs 7-0.
It should be the last play of the first quarter. There's 8 seconds left in the first quarter. Burns leading 7-0.
And Shelby forced to change the lineup a little bit with Burns getting pressure. They're going with a 2-back set, and Chad Reed breaks it in the secondary to the 50, to the 40, 35, 30, 20. He's taken down by Zach Leslie, but he gets a big gain all the way to the Burns 20, and that's a pickup of 41 yards for the senior.
Well, that's exactly what the doctor ordered, and so Golden Lions are going to see if they can build off of that. But that is the last play of the first quarter with the score, Burns 7, Shelby 0.
We'll take a 1-minute break, and we'll be back with the second quarter action here from Ron Green Stadium.
Old Man Winter is just around the corner. It's time to fill up your tank with home heated oil or kerosene from Energy Direct in Shelby. They promise to beat anybody's price. Check with Energy Direct in Shelby before you fill it up for winter. Just give them a call at 704-482-0351. Again, that's 704-482-0351. They will beat anybody's price on home heated oil and kerosene. Guaranteed. Energy Direct, 1629 South Lafayette Street, Shelby.
When accidents happen, it's reassuring to know that quick expert care is nearby. Carolina's Healthcare Urgent Care Shelby is now open and is staffed with experienced physicians, mid-level providers, nurses, and support personnel equipped with on-site laboratory and x-ray services. So keep our new location and contact information close by for immediate access to the region's preferred healthcare and largest physicians network. Carolina's Healthcare Urgent Care, 1010 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
Back to Burns High School, and
we were helped out a little bit that time because they were getting ready to run a play, and Shelby got called for their sideline warning, so we did get back here for the first down play.
First and 10 from the Burns 20, handoff to Buck Ushery, and he's plowing his way towards another first down as he's inside the 10 and still going. Flags are coming out late, and gosh, he moves the pile all the way down to the Burns 6. That's a gain of 14.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to get called for aiding the runner, because in the pros and in the college, you can push a runner. I don't think you can do it in high school. And one of the Golden Lion offensive linemen was pushing the back of that pile, but unfortunately he wasn't pushing the pile, he was pushing Buck Ushery.
Let's see. You don't see that call but maybe once a year, maybe once every 5 years, but we're going to see it here tonight.
Well, that's a pretty infamous play if you're a Notre Dame fan. Because that was, seems like Southern Cal scored on the last play against Notre Dame on a play just like that, which I think is why they changed the rule in college. We're going up with a 4-yard gain, actually, and Shelby's taking the timeout, I believe.
All right, we'll take it to 30 seconds. Steve Roberts will be right back.
Considering hardwood flooring for your home, they need the Flooring America.
Check out the new storage buildings at the Roundup Store in Shelby. Come see the new vinyl siding storage building and the new T111 wooden siding building. And the Roundup Store's wooden buildings are built to last and last. And check out their line of beautiful kitchen cabinets. Make your dream kitchen a reality. The Roundup Store, 1610 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Open 8:30 till 5:30 Monday through Friday, 8:30 till noon on Saturday. Online at roundupshelby.com.
You warmth, ambient, and convenience to your home. Let's take a look at the Yodel and Lo-Fi wood stove. And remember, Future Energy Company does chimney cleaning, and they install and service gas logs. Future Energy Company, 130 West Grand Street in Uptown Shelby, open 10 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 1 on Saturday, online at futureenergyco.com.
Back to Burns High. After the Shelby timeout, they face a 1st and 6. That's right, 1st and 6. Buck Ushery gained 9 yards. Shelby called for an aiding the runner penalty that backs it up 5, and that's going to bring up a 1st and 6. And R.J. George is back to throw, and he's got Cavassier Shell. Throws it short. He had Cavassier open over here, but R.J. didn't quite get it out to Cavassier in the air, and so it's going to be incomplete.
Well, that 5-yard penalty just got Coach Ware incensed, and I don't think that's why they called the timeout. They called the timeout to take care of some business, but during that timeout, he had the official's ear, and he was asking what was up with that call.
2nd and 6, and Chad Reed breaks it into the Burns secondary. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Golden Lions, no flags this time as he goes in from 16 yards out, and Shelby is an extra point away from tying this one up.
Well, it's really interesting what the Golden Lions did. They went to that two-man backfield, and when they went to that, the three men counting the quarterback, but when you get those backs on either side of the quarterback, that really made Burns much less dominant up front. It's really interesting.
On for the extra point, Richard Wright, low snap, and the kick is nailed and good. And Shelby's tied at 7-all on the Medical Arts Pharmacy scoreboard. 11:40 to go, first half. Back in 30 seconds.
Jam & J's Pizza Factory is Shelby's favorite locally owned family pizza restaurant, featuring a pizza buffet and salad bar, a fantastic game room, and birthday parties. Jam & J's has gluten-free pizza, vegan cheese pizza, and now try the La Nova wings in barbecue, hot and spicy, or oven roasted. And Jam & J's is the original home for the Livermus pizza. Want to eat at home and watch the game? Call for carryout at 704-600-6182. Jam & J's Pizza Factory, Highway 74 East, behind the Golden Corral in Shelby.
Green Construction take it to the house. 16-yard touchdown run by Chad Reed have tied the score here at 7 apiece. 11:40 to go first half. Richard Wright's got it teed up for a Jam & J's Pizza Factory kickoff.
Let's see how Shelby does covering this kick.
And Wright's got foot to leather, and this is a deep kick and well into the end zone touchback. So Richard didn't even give the coverage team a chance that time as he took matters into his own hands.
Well, that's one way to make the whole question moot. If Richard can kick it in the end zone, they can't run it back. So Burns is going to start on their own 20-yard line after about 11 minutes of nothing offensively. Very quickly, inside of a minute, we had 2 touchdowns because Shelby got the ball back with 8 seconds left in the first quarter and scored with 11:40 left in the second quarter.
Last drive, Burns took advantage of a short field after a turnover, an interception, and this time it's a short pass to the sideline, and much like Shelby's Jaden Borders, Burns' Scooter Colburn takes that one and gets some yards after the catch of his own and gets a first down for Burns up to the 32-yard line. That's a gain of 12.
One of the things the Golden Lions are going to have to make sure they don't fall into the trap is they're being a little bit upset. A couple of the Golden Lions thought that ball hit the ground, but it did not, and so you got to play until the whistle blows.
First and 10, Barbie hands off to Camp, and Shelby's all over that in the backfield. That's a huge loss. Actually, good forward progress given, but even with that, he loses 3 yards.
So again, tonight, this definitely been a situation where the defenses on both sides have been somewhat dominant until Shelby went to that 2 running back offense, one on each side of R.J. George. Burns was giving up absolutely nothing. And it's kind of amazing how sometimes you just change an offensive front and an offensive set and things open up for you.
Second and 13 after the loss of 3. I didn't see the Shelby tackler there because it looked like there was about 4 white shirts on Camp. And Kent Clemens is what Steve DeGree says. And this time it's, I think, Clay Husky that hits, it was Clay hit Camp in the backfield. So again, Camp goes backwards and loses 1 that time. So now it's going to bring up a 3rd and 14 for the Bulldogs.
3rd and 14, so that's just back-to-back great plays by the Golden Lion front, and Siobhan Miller got in on that for an assist, and so both defensive ends were just all over that one.
10-17 to go, second quarter, and Burns in a 3rd and long, and they're going to throw a quick pass. It's tipped off the hands of Zach Leslie, and Damian Key was the Shelby guy closest to that one. It falls incomplete, and it's going to bring up punting situation for Burns.
And it's been pretty obvious tonight that Shelby, as far as kicking, they can kick it a lot farther. And so Shelby looks to have good field position on this punt from the 28. In fact, the deep man for Shelby, Houston, is standing just inside the 50. Just on the Shelby side of the 50.
And Houston took over that And again, Chad Reed, I don't know how he didn't get it. But the good thing is he's not hitting the punter, so maybe he needs to hit the punter and he'll get the football too. But Reed, for the third straight time, has been almost grabbing the leg of the punter.
And it's going to be the football. I'm sorry, Brent, I interrupted there. The football is finally spotted on the Burns 47-yard line, so that is the best field position for Shelby tonight.
So, Coach, we may be seeing a little bit of momentum switch after Burns had it. Shelby with that touchdown drive, and then a big 3-and-out by the defense, and now takes over in Burns territory.
No doubt about it.
And now Shelby switches to a two-back set, and it's a handoff to Chad Reed. He's hitting the backfield, but he's able to get some positive yards out of it.
In fact, all the way at 7 yards. I mean, he really took off after first contact that time.
So Reed, after a tough start where he had 0-4, -2, 2-2, -1 in his first 6 carries, has now gone for 41, 16, and 7 in his last 3 totes.
So that's 63 yards, so he's averaged 21 yards per touch in his last 3. And that's the Chad Reed that we've been seeing up to this point.
2nd and 3 in this two-back set. Also, Burns doesn't know which guy's going to get it. They can't just key on the one guy, and it's also allowing RJ to have a little extra protection when he decides to throw. This handoff to Day-Day Brooks, and Day-Day runs into the line and maybe gets a yard, maybe a half a yard.
Well, that's the difference when you put Day-Day in instead of Buck Ushery. Day-Day runs hard, but Day-Day is a small running back, and they do run Buck Ushery back in because Buck's just got a lot more bulk to run up in there. So again, big play. It's 3rd and a long 2 at the Burns 39-yard line.
And this time Shelby with the two-back set of Reed and Ussery. And it's going to be Ussery leading the way for Reed, who bounces it to the outside. He's got a first down, stiff arms the Burns player out of bounds, and Chad never did go down, but was forced out of bounds, but not until he's got a Pigram Insurance first down for the Golden Lions at the 26-yard line of the Bulldogs, and that's a pickup of 13.
And what an excellent lead block by Buck Ushery that time. So 8:48 left in the first half, score tied at 7.
And Shelby quickly, and that's Reed again, I think, and he gets the 25 before he's slung down. So not as much that time, maybe a yard.
Absolutely, a much better job by the Burns defensive ends that time. Now, if you can get the Burns defensive ends crashing down pretty hard, then that might open up the possibility of bouncing the ball outside. So 7 down and 9, and maybe about time for the goal line to throw a pass here.
They got Cavassier Shell out here with man-to-man coverage with B.J. Hopper. And George is looking left, though, to his favorite receiver, and that's Jaden Borders. And Borders catches the ball for a short gain, and they're going to call him down at the 20. So a gain of 5, and this is going to bring up a 3rd and 4.
Now, again, very, very impressed with the Burns secondary and front ability to finish tackles. I mean, there have been very few missed tackles tonight by either Burns or Shelby. The defenses have looked good on both sides. 3rd and 3, huge play here, Brent Pasco.
Just the 4th pass completion, and now George goes under center and takes the quick snap, and he's going to just get behind that big offensive interior and get the first down. How about that?
How about that? That is the first time this year that we've taken a snap from center. Directly from center. Just the old-fashioned quarterback sneak, and you get RJ going forward, and that's a lot of mass, and that offensive line did a great job. He went right behind Jake Appling, the center.
I think he got 8 yards on that quarterback sneak. And now it's Chad Reed, or no, yeah. It's actually a fake to Buck Ussery, and RJ takes it all the way in himself from 12 yards out for the touchdown, and RJ says, hey, I haven't done much of this year, but I'm doing it now, back-to-back plays.
Absolutely. Great push up front and great run by George.
So he picks up 8 on the previous play, then he goes for 12 and a touchdown. RJ George showing us a little bit of that running ability that we know he has, just doesn't do it very often. Good snap, good hold. Richard Wright's kick is up. And again, a late signal.
I think what we had is some motion up front by the Golden Lions. I think we're going to back this up 5 and try it again. So that they don't even that kick. Even if he missed it, it wouldn't have mattered because when the flag was thrown, it killed the play immediately. You know, last year we had that happen so many times on defensive offsides. That time was moving it by the offense.
7:21 to go. Second quarter, Golden Lions have taken their first lead, 13-7. Now Wright's going to have to attempt a 25-yard extra point, and the kick's up, and it's good. Shelby 14, Burns 7. 30 seconds, and we'll be back with the Jim and Jay's Pizza Factory kickoff.
Do you know what Putnam Distributor sells? Auto parts, truck parts, stuff for all sorts of equipment, plus 25 brands of motor oil, hydraulic fluids, filters, batteries, even nuts and bolts, and all at low, low prices. Putnam Distributors is located in downtown Patterson Springs, just 5 minutes from Kmart and the Cleveland Mall. Go south on Highway 226 or Highway 180 and just follow the signs. Putnam's prices are low on everything and for everybody. Call 704-487-9395 or visit them online at PutnamDistributors.com.
The Transportation Administration of Cleveland County and Cleveland County Transit would like to take this time to remind...
over Kings Mountain, and Crest 14-0 over East Burke. Here it's Shelby 14, Burns 7, and Richard Wright's got it teed up for a Jim and Jay's Pizza Factory kickoff, and we appreciate Steve Degree getting the scores for us, and he's also keeping some defensive stats. Wright's kickoff goes to the 7. That's taken by Tariq James, and Zach Hollifield just about takes his helmet off at the 20-yard line.
Nice kickoff, again, 53 yards, but over in the corner, forcing the receiver to have to run a long way just to get the ball back to the middle of the field. And so, again, great job of controlling the field position by the Golden Lions because Burns is going to start on their own 20-yard line here with 7:15 left in the first half. Shelby, after a sluggish first quarter, has come back to score 14 points here in the first 4.5 minutes of the second quarter, and they lead 14-7. Burns first and 10 on their own 20.
So Shelby sees the momentum back here, at least momentarily, and on first down it's Camp, and Shelby with a run blitz is all over that. Again, gets Camp in the backfield, and Camp has had a tough night. Kent Clemens there. I think maybe we'll get credit for that, and that's a 3-yard loss on first down.
There are run blitzes and there are pass blitzes, and that was most definitely a run blitz by the Golden Lions, and perfectly called, perfectly executed. Second down and 13 for Burns on their own 17-yard line.
And that's the fourth straight Camp carry that's gone for negative yards, and so it's been tough sledding for number 33. And on second down, long 12, maybe a short 13, it's a quick throw out to the flat, and hit immediately is number 4.
And he's going to call it incomplete because if it would have been a complete pass, Shelby would have picked that up and scored. But great hit and forced the drop that time. So third down and 13.
Are they calling that a catch? All right, incomplete. They were about to spot it at the 20.
Yeah, it's got to either be it's either a fumble or an incomplete pass, and they are having some difficulty trying to figure out where to place the ball. I think we picked up about half a yard on that spot, Brent Pasco.
Yeah, so now it is a full 3rd and 13 for Burns, and here comes Shelby's Dax Hollifield and Gary and Addison on the blitz, and I think Addison may have gotten his hand on that and tipped it, intended for Trey Cannon, and that's incomplete, brings up 4th down.
Again, Golden Lions basically waking up here after a difficult first quarter, and again, should be, and they just picked up a yard on that incomplete pass. It's the umpires having a hard time.
Yeah, so now it went from 4th and 12.5 to 4th and 13, now to 4th and 12 in the last 3 plays. Either way, it's 4th and long, and Burns has the punt unit on the field. Shelby again comes with a block. They get to the punter. There's a little bit of contact. No flag. Demary Houston goes back to pick it up from his 41. He's already across midfield. He bounces it to the outside. It's a foot race to the right sideline. Now he stops, reverses field. He's back to the 50, does a spin move, And all that, folks, and he's down at the Shelby 48. So that's about a 7-yard return for DeMario.
And he ran about 67 yards for the 7-yard return. The official thought really hard about throwing a flag. I think it would have just been a 5-yard variety, but the Burns fans will be a little bit irate that they didn't get that call that time.
Well, I think Chad Reed thought, I've been there 3 times, dang it, I'm getting this one, and unfortunately he missed it again and got a little bit of the punter, but it was really just he brushed him into the side, and like you said, he reached for the hanky and then decided not to throw it. First down Shelby at their 48-yard line, a great field position, and a handoff to Day Brooks around the left side, and it's a foot race to the corner. Day wins it. The problem is he ran out of real estate and goes out of bounds. He actually never went down on the play. He squirmed out on the other side of the field.
And he
got 3 yards.
He got 3 yards, and he got all 3 of those after contact because he did win the race to the corner, but when he got to the corner, the Burns defense was waiting on him, and I thought we were going to have no gain, and he ends up picking up 3 yards on that.
A little bit of difficulty handling the snap, delayed that handoff a little bit. Maybe Day could have gotten there a little cleaner. Now Burns with the run blitz. Shelby picks it up, and R.J. George is going up top. He's got Cavassier Shell behind the defense, and Cavassier's got it, knocks the pylon over.
Generally, when they knock the pylon over, it's a touchdown, and it is.
They call touchdown. Cavassier Shell, and that's 49-yard touchdown pass from R.J. George. So you said it, Coach. Cavassier catches it. It's usually a long one.
No doubt about it. What a perfectly thrown ball by R.J. George. And a great job of blocking up front. R.J. was never touched, and that's been unusual tonight. R.J.'s had to move around a great deal.
That's the longest completion of the night. It was Cavassier that caught a touchdown pass earlier that was called back because Shelby had a penalty on the play. But not this time. Richard Wright's extra points good. Shelby leads 21-7, 5:45 to go. First half back in 30 seconds for a Jam & J's Pizza Factory kickoff.
Everyone that drugs like marijuana, alcohol, prescription drugs, and inhalants are the drugs of choice among our teens. They break hearts, break homes, and destroy childhood dreams. It's not just someone else's child, it could be yours. If you're not talking to your children about drugs, doesn't it make you wonder who is? TAC and Cleveland County Transit would like to wish all of our Cleveland County school athletic teams good luck this year.
All right, back at Burns High, where I guess you could say Cavassier Shell and R.J. George hooked up for a 49-yard Ed Green construction take it to the house touchdown pass. And the Golden Lions have gone up on Burns 21-7. And it's been all Golden Lions here in the first quarter after Burns took that 7-0 lead.
Yeah, the second quarter has really been good for the Golden Lions. 5:45 left. Richard Wright kicks it again, same spot, back to about the 1-yard line, and Shelby should be able to cover this pretty well.
And that's Hopper, B.J. Hopper, and it's Shelby's Damian Key gets him all the way down at the 17-yard line. So Burns again going to have to go a long way with this one. And now a flag comes out late towards the Burns sidelines, and not sure what this call is. It was after I was looking.
It's going to be it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct on Burns, which is going to give them the ball now way back at about you should be the 8.5-yard line, just half the distance to the goal line. Only the second penalty on Burns.
So that's going to back it up about 8 yards, but I guess it's still going to be first down and 10. It's just going to be from the 9-yard line.
A few years ago they changed that. It used to be that the dead ball on change of possession would make it first and 25, but they changed that rule, and even though it is a dead ball foul, they still go ahead and set the first down marker at that spot.
2 straight drives from Burns have gone backwards and resulted in 3 and outs. One was 4 yards lost in 3 plays. Last time it was 3 yards lost in 3 plays. And this time on first down, it's an incomplete pass.
Really looked like the wide receiver and quarterback were just a little bit confused that time. Shelby putting so much pressure quickly that time Cameron Barbie took it and tried to throw it pretty much immediately and threw it to where there was nobody. I mean, it was between the two Burns receivers and the two Shelby defenders. There was no way that was going to be caught by anybody.
I got a feeling we might see a pick six by the goal lines before this game's over, because Burns has basically just gone to the straight two-step drop and slant and quick slant pass.
Well, Shelby was really unfortunate that time. Burns had a very bad snap, and the ball was going to be back in the end zone, but actually Burns was moving before the snap, and so that's going to turn out to be, I mean, who knows, they're going to put that ball back on the 4, and it should have been on the 9, so it's actually a 5-yard penalty, but it's officially 4, so it's going to be second down and looks like about 15.
And Shelby on the run blitz, and it's, oh my, untouched. G9 comes into that gap, and he gets camped at the 1.
Yeah, and it was probably just inside the 1. And again, perfectly executed run blitz that time. G9 just hit it perfectly. I'm using the word perfectly too much, but it was timed perfectly. I have no other way to say that, and he almost took the handoff from Cameron Barbie that time.
3rd and 18. So again, Burns just going backwards with every play. And from the end zone, Barbie gets killed, throws it up, picked off. DeMonte Poole, I thought we might see a pick six, Coach. I almost had that one called had DeMonte kept his feet in bounds.
But either way, it was a great play by the Golden Lions for the interception, and Shelby's going to start on the Burns 16.
And so Shelby, with all the momentum at this point, they've scored on 3 straight possessions and now take over with their best field position of the night at the Burns 16-yard line. Let's see if they can cash in. Still plenty of time first half, 4:53 to go here in the second quarter. And Shelby with a low snap. George rolls right, throws left. He's got Chad Reed on the screen. And a great open field tackle by Burns. That probably kept Chad Reed from scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, and I think that was
16 maybe?
26 or 36. And if it's 26, that is Burris. Not sure. Again, really difficult to read those numbers, but Burns does a great job of open field tackles. And that snap was a little bit low, and the timing was messed up. Now Burns jumps off. The question is going to be whether they were drawn off, and they were not. So that's going to be a 5-yard penalty on Burns. And so now Burns has been guilty of 3 penalties in the second quarter, and the Golden Lions only 1. So that penalty bug is kind of evening out right now. Shelby's going to be 2nd and 4, just outside the 10.
Again with a 2-step back, and it's a quick throw to Jaden Borders, and he cuts inside, then back outside, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Golden Lions.
And we're going to be called for I think we're going to get called for a block in the back, and
I think that's actually after he was already in the end zone.
Yeah, well, I think we got called to block in the back for well, I think that was the block that actually sprung him, and I was expecting to see it called immediately. Then when it wasn't thrown, I thought, well, maybe we got away with one. So I think that I'm afraid I have to agree with that call, Brent. It was really close, and I was hoping the official would say, well, it was really close, so we're not going to call it. But unfortunately, that takes a second touchdown off the board for Shelby. That's 2 touchdowns that have been taken away by penalty. Shelby quickly over the ball again.
Second down, 14, back at the 20-yard line, and R.J. George rolls to his left. He plants, reverses back to his right, and he's got all kinds of open field. He's to the 20, 15, makes a move inside the 10, inside the 5, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, R.J. George. No flags this time, and R.J.'s got his second rushing touchdown of the night. This one from 20 yards out, and R.J. now showing a flag way after the play.
R.J. George gives Shelby a...
Sure, that's going to have to be after the score.
Yeah, I mean, it just went down on the ground. And I'll tell you what, R.J. George showing some moves there for a big guy.
Dead ball
on Shelby be assessed on the kickoff. So it's a touchdown, R.J. George. This one a 20-yard touchdown run. His second touchdown run of the night. And Richard Wright's on for the extra point to give Shelby what is a 27-7 lead, hoping to make it 28-7. Still 3:46 to go in the second quarter, and it's been all Golden Lions here in the second quarter.
4 straight possessions, 4 straight touchdowns for the Golden Lions.
Snap's good this time, and Wright's kick is right through, and Shelby leads 28-7. Back in 30 seconds for another Richard Wright Jim and Jay's Pizza Factory kickoff.
Norris Merchandise's beautiful furniture with bedroom, living room, and dining room furniture by the famous brands. Norris Merchandise's hardware, everything from nuts and bolts to lawnmower blades. Norris Merchandise's Carhartt clothing, featuring Carhartt workwear, casual wear, and rugged outdoor wear. And Norris Merchandise is an archery shop with a complete line of archery equipment and accessories. That's Norris Merchandise, 2011 South Lafayette Street, Shelby, online at norrismerchandise.com or on Facebook.
Shelby with 4th touchdown in a row, and they scored 28 unanswered against Burns, and they lead 28-7 with 3:46 to go first half. And that was another Ed Green construction take it to the house touchdown run by quarterback R.J. George. He's now got 2 touchdown runs and a touchdown pass here in the first half. But an unsportsmanlike conduct dead ball foul on Shelby after that touchdown has backed this kickoff up all the way to the 25-yard line. So Richard Wright's going to have to kick it off 15 yards farther back than normal. Burns is surely to get good field position here, and Wright does a low driving kick taken at the 15 by James, and he's clotheslined by Clay Husky at the 32-yard line.
That almost looked like the old Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling coming off the top rope and off the turnbuckle with the atomic flying elbow there. And I just made all that up. My wife will give me tremendous grief. Along with David Allen if he actually is hearing that, because DA is my man to help me with the wrestling terms. Actually, I think that was more of the atomic sickle.
A Russian sickle, Nikita Koloff. Burns 1st and 10 from the 32. Hand off to Camp, and he gets another loss on the play, maybe a loss of 1 this time. And he just has had nowhere to go in this second quarter.
It is amazing what happens with momentum. And Shelby got down 7-0, and then they made 2 big plays, and the momentum switched. And since then, it's been all Shelby. We're down to 3:12 left in the first half, and Shelby leading 28-7.
And now all kinds of movement on the front. Actually, the snap was early, and Barbie had to fall on it, but their flag comes out. Actually, it wasn't even Barbie that fell on it. It was the left guard. And it's a false start. Burns. That's going to back it up another 5. They've gone backwards on 4 straight possessions, and they got to get something going here. They're risking Shelby blowing this one wide open.
No question about that. So clock again running. We're under 3 minutes left. 2nd and 16 for Burns, and again it's going to be about a 4-yard loss. It's like the Shelby defense is saying, okay, this play is let's meet in the backfield and hit the ball carrier.
That time Justin Turner gets back there. Haven't called his name much after he was injured a couple weeks ago. He's slowly working his way back into the lineup. And he was all over that one, and now it's
about 3rd and 19, I believe.
Wow, it's a long way to go. This is about a loss of 5 there for Camp. And now Barbie's going up top, and it's picked off. Is it? No, it's incomplete. Damian Key was there.
Yeah, Damian, it almost looked like it was intended for Damian. It was actually an attempted slant to, I think, Leslie, but Damian read it, stepped forward, and had it hit him right in the chest. But Leslie collided with him pretty much the same time the ball got there. And so, again, a dominant play by the Shelby defense. And once more, we're looking at the chance for Shelby getting great field position here.
And that Shelby offense can score so quickly, and there's almost no amount of time that's too little for them.
That's true, and when we get to halftime, I'll talk to you about how quickly Shelby has scored. It's been pretty amazing.
Back to punt this time. blocked well by Burns, and the punt gets off, bounces at the Shelby 47, rolls forward for Burns, and it'll be down at the Shelby 44-yard line. But again, Shelby takes over in good field position, and they lead 28-7 here on the Medical Arts Pharmacy scoreboard. And, you know, I was talking about that kickoff where we did the Russian sickle, atomic elbow, turnbuckle, whatever. And that was Clay Husky, and he's one of those guys that got inserted into that kickoff coverage team this week, and he's making his presence felt already. 1st and 10, Golden Lions. It's Chad Reed and Day-Day Brooks in the Shelby backfield. And since Shelby went to that two-back set, it's been pretty dominant on offense. Burns calls their final timeout. Steve Roberts, let's take a 30-second break, and we'll be back with this first drive for Shelby.
Do you have a lot of old medications piling up? Most people do. Then get rid of them and do it safely. Drop off your old medications in the new medication drop box, now located inside Falston Pharmacy in Falston. All medications will be disposed of by the Cleveland County Sheriff's Department. It's easy. Just clean out your medicine cabinet, bring them in the Falston Pharmacy, and just drop them in the box. And while you're there, get your Burns Bulldog football apparel. Falston Pharmacy, Highway 18 North in Falston. Comfortable just got
28-7, 2:11 left, first half. Shelby takes over at their own 44-yard line. Shelby just, I think, Burns used their last time out. I believe Shelby's got one left, Coach?
That's correct. Shelby has one left.
Snap back to R.J. George. He rolls right, and he's looking way up top, and he goes deep. He's got a couple of guys deep, and it's in and out of the hands of Devin Gillette, who had probably 6 had he pulled that one into the breadbasket.
That was such a strange looking pattern because we had 2 receivers running post, and they almost met in the middle of the field. And I know that Gillette's really upset with himself because he made a great run to get in position, and I thought he had it for a touchdown. RJ had a day and a half to throw that ball, and it's just amazing what the momentum's done as far as pass blocking is concerned.
Burns playing a lot off the Shelby receivers. Let's see if Shelby goes to the early pass. And Burns shows a blitz, and I think a Shelby offensive lineman moved early.
Yeah, somebody on the left side of that offensive line moved, and that's one of the things that happens sometimes when you show that late pressure. And it was just a little bit of a flinch, but that's all that it takes. And so Shelby 2nd and 15. It's been a while since they had a negative play, and so let's see what Burns can do with this with 2:02 left in the first half.
Bigger series for Burns, I think, to come up with a stop of Shelby. And Shelby hits Jaden Borders on a slant pattern, and Jaden breaks a tackle to get a first down yardage, and that play picks up 16 yards and gets just 1 yard past the sticks, as that was a 2nd and 15 play.
16 yards, great play, and again, it was a nice play-action fake. Linebackers had to step forward to be careful because it looked like Chad Reed was getting ready to run up the middle, and when the linebacker stepped forward, that just meant that Jaden Borders was wide open on that little slant pattern. Very well designed and well-run play by the Golden Lions.
Pigram Insurance first down at the Burns 45, and George back to pass again. This time, Burns is coming from both sides, and it's going to be DeStefano, and he gets the sack of R.J. George back at the Shelby 49. That's a loss of 6, and Shelby's going to burn their last time out and stop the clock with 1:28 to go second quarter. We'll take a 30-second break, and we'll be back with the conclusion of this first half.
More affordable from Bill Schufert Heating and Air Conditioning in Shelby and American Standard. Keep cool this summer with one call to Bill Schufert Heating and Air and get up to $1,100 in rebates. Plus, ask about special financing available on famous American Standard equipment. Call 704-484-0025 or drop by their office at 213 Campbell Street in Shelby. Get up to $1,100 in rebates now on American Standard. Bill Schufert Heating and Air and American Standard, where your comfort is our concern.
Golden Lions over the Bulldogs. Burns with a big sack of R.J. George there on 1st and 10. and that backs Shelby up to midfield and forces Shelby to call their final timeout of the half.
Well, I agree with you, Brent, and something that you said just a little bit earlier. This is a more important drive for Burns than it is for Shelby, because if Burns can stop Shelby right now and get one last chance, they're going to get the ball first in the second half.
George on first 10 looks deep, and he's got a guy streaking down the sideline. That's Jaden Borders, and he can't hold on to the ball. That's twice Shelby's gotten deep, and RJ's put it right in the breadbasket.
He sure has, and that was a little more difficult catch, because that's that catch going over your head, but that's the kind of catch that we're used to seeing Jaden Borders make. And again, Jaden's upset with himself. I don't think I could make that catch. I think most of the people listening couldn't make that catch, but Jaden says that he's used to making that catch. And again, you got to say George has really thrown the ball well in the second quarter, and I know the second quarter has felt like it's gone on for about 9 days for the Burns Bulldogs. But this is a big play now, 1:21 left and 3rd and 15 at midfield for the Golden Lions.
And Shelby with a two-back set, and now Chad Reed splits out wide, and Daddy Brooks stays in to block, and over the middle is the pass, complete to Chad Reed, and he's into the secondary, the 15, 10, 5, touchdown Shelby, 50-yard pass play from R.J. George to Chad Reed, and that was some yards after the catch by Mr. Reed that time.
Well, I was really afraid that Chad was going to get absolutely pounded when he made that catch, but it was that was a Norris Hopper kind of play. It was like he could tell the man was behind him, and he made this nifty move, and he was never touched. And all I can say about that is, wow, what a great pass and great catch and great run. And again, there were 3 Shelby linemen, 2 linemen and 1 back that were triple teaming big number 17 that time.
Low snap, tough hold, and Richard Wright misses this one. I think the ball even fell off the block, and he kind of did one of them sidewinder knuckleballers.
And we got another late flag here.
Kick no good. So Shelby leads 34-7. There's still 1:08 left first half. And let's see what the call is. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike. Shelby is going to be called on the kickoff again. So Shelby's got to keep their tempers in check. The 4th unsportsmanlike conduct penalty called against the Golden Lions. But we're going to take a 30-second break, and we'll come back with a Jam and Jay's Pizza Factory kickoff right after this.
Boost Mobile by AZ Wireless has now opened their new additional location at 1325 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Come on in now and find out how you can get a free phone. That's right, a free phone. Get a free phone when you switch your number from another carrier to Boost Mobile by AZ Wireless, with 4G packages starting at only $35 per month. Available only at Boost Mobile by AZ Wireless, 900 South Lafayette Street in Shelby, and now a new additional location located at 1325 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
George to Chad Reed, 50-yard Ed Green construction ticket to the house touchdown pass. The Golden Lions have gone up 34-7 on the Bulldogs here at Ron Green Stadium. But for the second straight time after a Shelby touchdown, Shelby's guilty of an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and Richard Rice going to have to kick it off from his own 25-yard line. This is a high end-over-end kick taken at the 22-yard line by B.J. Hopper, and guess who's there again? Wow, Clay Husky, the newly anointed special teams coverage guy.
Well, that was the big difference. Brent told me, he said that they were talking about putting Clay Husky in on the kickoff team, and wow, good decision there, putting Clay Husky, because I tell you what, I've talked several times to you before, if we always felt if you could stop the team inside the 30 on a regular kickoff, it was a great play. We kicked off from our 25-yard line and stopped them on their 28. So just a fantastic play by Clay Husky, and another nice kick by Richard Wright.
First down Burns. 1:01 to go, and on first down, Barbie's going to have to tuck it and run as he gets pressure. He gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe gets another 1.5 yards.
Yeah, and running for his life is the word, and it's just hard to imagine that Burns is going to have time to throw anything deep, and the clock is ticking down. We're going to be inside 40 seconds left in the half. Golden Lions leading 34-7, and Burns not even ready to snap it yet. There's going to be about 30 seconds left when they do snap it, and they do snap, and it's a running play.
And actually, it was a good call because Shelby was coming with the blitz, and Camp ran right by it. But even a run like that looked like it was a really good run, still gets about just 5. Still a nice game, but it's just that Shelby line is getting such a push right now.
Absolutely, and now we're inside 10 seconds left in the first half.
Let's call that a pickup of 6 for Camp. 3rd down and 3, and Barbie's going to have to call his own number. He throws it. It's picked off. And that's DeMonte Poole's 2nd of the night. And he's running backwards, now forwards, still not down. They're going to blow it dead, but Shelby's going to take over in Burns territory again at the 44-yard line.
But that is the end of the first half, and Shelby leads 34-7 at the end of the first half.
Take a 3-minute break, and we'll be back with our halftime show, sponsored by Dr. Doug Stroud, Dr. Jim Wilson, Dr. Craig Thompson, Family Dental Care, and we'll do that after this 3-minute break.
Beaver Dam Auto Auction is a family-owned and operated business that has been open for 32 years. Auctions are open to dealers and the public. Beaver Dam is located on 16 paved acres with 4 lanes under one roof. Sales are held every Wednesday at 7 p.m. with vehicle previews starting at 9 a.m. on the day of the sale. Beaver Dam Auto Auction, just off Highway 74 West at 107 Webb Road, Shelby. And dealers, bring titles and inspected vehicles to sell to the public and get rid of that old inventory. Blanton Cars is slashing down payments. We offer down payments as low as $500. We are the most experienced buy here, pay here dealer in Cleveland County. We have cars as new as 2010 models that we will finance in-house. We don't look at your past credit. Your job is your credit here. We have payment plans to fit your budget. Stop by today and let us put you in the car you deserve. Blanton Cars has 2 locations to serve you in Shelby. East Dixon Boulevard, across from Super 8 Motel, and West Dixon Boulevard, next to Meineke Mufflers.
Keep cool this summer and save cash too with the new Train from Forest City Heating and Air in Forest City. Hurry in now and check out the great deals from Train. Now you can get 0% financing for up to 60 months on qualifying credit approval and qualifying equipment. Come into Forest City Heating and Air for all the details. Give them a call at 828-245-1379. That's 828-245-1379. Forest City Heating and Air, serving Cleveland County and Rutherford counties for over 30 years. Remember, it's hard to stop a train. It's Corks and Taps for Hospice. Thursday night, October 16th, at the LeGrand Center in Shelby. Corks and Taps is a special wine and beer tasting event and auction. And there will be special music by Swing 30 and the Black Coffee Trio, plus food provided by Smoke on the Square. Tickets are $30 in advance or $35 at the door and are available at Hospice of Cleveland County in Shelby, the Kings Mountain Hospice House, or the Hospice Store on East Marion Street in Shelby. For more information, call Hospice at 704-487-4677. Corks and Taps for Hospice, Thursday, October 16th. Old Man Winter is just around the corner. Are you ready? It's time to get ready with a stop at Future Energy Company in Shelby. Take a look at the line of Menneson vent-free gas logs, bringing you warmth, ambience, and convenience to your home. Plus, take a look at the Yodel and Lopi wood stoves. And remember, Future Energy Company does chimney cleaning, and they install and service gas logs. Future Energy Company, 130 West Graham Street in Uptown Shelby, open 10 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 1 on Saturday, online at futureenergyco.com.
Everybody knows a game is better with a goal. The goal is better with announcers. Announcers are better in the movies.
In a world with no plot.
Movies are better with fast cars. Cars are better when they take you to McDonald's. McDonald's is better with Coke. Coke is even better when it's $1. Get any size Coca-Cola soft drink or sweet tea for $1 at McDonald's. And it really doesn't get any better than that. The simple joy of better. At participating McDonald's, a la carte only.
Tonight, and it's good to see some of those guys. Some of them are actually coaching in this game both ways for both teams. So honoring that team tonight here at Burns. And but on the field tonight, it's been Shelby 34-7. Very defensive struggle for that first quarter. But then, Coach, it's been all Shelby offense and defense here in the second quarter.
Yeah, it's as we've talked numerous times before. Football, high school football, is definitely a game of momentum. And at the end of the first quarter, you had to feel that Burns had that momentum. They were leading 7-0. The first 4 times that Shelby had the football, they went 3-and-out punt, 3-and-out punt, 3-and-out punt, 1 first down, and an interception. The last 5 times Shelby's had the ball, touchdown, 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 touchdown. The only 2 things that you can say, the only 2 things that you can find any fault in for Shelby in the second quarter were a few unsportsmanlike conduct penalties and 1 missed extra point. We've had a little bit of trouble with the snap tonight. 2 times RJ has done a great job getting the snap up onto the tee, and on this last kick, there was tremendous pressure right up the gut, and I don't know that RJ ever got the ball on the tee. But you know what? If that's the only 2 things you can say about it, the Golden Lions will take it. So Shelby leads 34-7 here at halftime, while Brent is finishing up his stats. I'll do the Okies Tire game recap. The first points of the game were scored with 11 seconds left in the first quarter. Mike Tate had a 4-yard touchdown run for Burns. Chris Proctor's extra point made it 7-0 Burns. With 11:40 left in the first half, Chad Reed had a 16-yard run. Richard Wright's point after made it 7-7. With 7:21 left in the first half, R.J. George had a 12-yard touchdown run. Wright's point after made it 14-7. With 5:45 left in the first half, Cavassier Shell had a 49-yard touchdown pass from R.J. George. Wright's point after made it 21-7. With 3:46 left in the first half, R.J. George had a 20-yard touchdown run. Wright's point after made it 28-7. And with 1:08 left in the first half, Reed had a 50-yard pass from R.J. George. The point after was no good, wide to the left. And at halftime, Shelby leads 34-7. But here's the thing I want to mention to you. Shelby's first possession, they held the ball for 1 minute 19 seconds and punted. Second possession, they held it for 1 minute 1 second and punted. Third possession, they held it for 1 minute 21 seconds and punted it. Fourth possession, they had their only first down of the first quarter. 1:44, run off the clock, had an interception. The next 5 possessions, Shelby had 28 seconds, touchdown, 2 minutes and 47 seconds, touchdown, 20 seconds, touchdown, 1:07, touchdown, 1:03, touchdown. At the end of the first quarter, Shelby had 2 first downs, Burns had 3. At the end of the first half, Shelby has 10 first downs and 5 touchdowns. Burns has 4 first downs. And so the second quarter, I'm not even sure if domination is the correct term.
Well, that was certainly an interesting and telling Okies Tire game recap. And that's a good segue into the Chris McDaniel Allstate Insurance stat sheet, where you'll see it's all Golden Lions here as well. We'll start with Burns, though, the leading rusher tonight. A.J. Camp had 14 carries for 6 yards. Michael Tate had 1 carry for 4 yards. It was a touchdown. And Cameron Barbie had 3 carries for -3. So Burns with 7 yards rushing on 18 carries. Passing, Barbie 2 for 13, 44 yards with 2 interceptions. Zach Leslie had 1 catch for 32 yards, and Scooter Colburn had 1 catch for 12 yards. So 44 yards passing, 7 yards rushing, 51 total yards for Burns. For Shelby, leading rusher Chad Reed, 11 carries, 83 yards and a touchdown. R.J. George had 4 carries for 35 yards, 2 touchdowns. Xavier Day Brooks had 2 carries for 4 yards. Buck Ushery, 1 carry for 9 yards. So Shelby with 131 yards rushing on 18 carries and 3 touchdowns. Passing, George 9 for 16 for 145 yards. He had 2 touchdown passes, 1 interception. Leading receiver was Chad Reed with 3 catches for 53 yards and a touchdown. Cavassier Shell had 1 catch for 49 yards and a touchdown, and Jaden Borders had 5 catches for 43 yards. So Shelby with 131 on the ground, 145 in the air, 276 total. And so, Coach, the big telling stat is that total yards. Shelby 276 to 51 for Burns. And, of course, that's why the score is what it is at 34-7 Golden Lions.
Well, at the end of the first quarter, you had to be just tremendously impressed with Burns' defense, because they have been putting tremendous pressure on R.J. George. There were no running lanes. Not only was George running for his life, every time Chad, for like 5 straight possessions, Chad Reed had negative yardage. And then the second quarter, it was almost as if Shelby had to wake up, because Burns made a great play, got an interception, got a short field, scored a touchdown. And you're thinking, oh my goodness, this is working out the way that Burns wants it to. It's a very tough defensive struggle. They've made a play. They lead 7-0. But from that point on, it's been boom, 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 big play after big play for Shelby. And I find it interesting, Brent, it started when Shelby went to the 2 backs, one on each side of R.J. George, and from that point on, it has been all Shelby, because that first touchdown was mostly on the ground, and it was actually 3 plays, and quickly 70 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, the play was that first play after the Burns touchdown when Reed goes 41 yards for the first down. And we're like, whoa, where's that been? And then he ends up with a touchdown run a couple of plays later. Then another thing that happened is RJ got his feet going. You know, he had 2 rushing touchdowns, which doubled his season total for rushing touchdowns.
Well, you know, we hadn't seen Burns miss a tackle until RJ made just an amazing scramble, and he was getting up close to the first down yardage at the 15, and he made a Burns defender miss. And you don't expect RJ to make defenders miss, but that's probably our fault for not giving RJ as much credit as he deserves, because RJ is a good runner. You'll never know it by looking at his stats, because the sacks count against his running. In fact, he is like -8 for the year on his rushing, but he's gained 132 yards when he's running the ball. He's lost 140 yards when he's sacked, and or when he's fumbled the ball and had to recover it. And so it's a very that statistic is hard to be borne out with the facts.
Yeah, it's very misleading, but what we did see is even with the sack yardage, RJ had 35 yards and 2 touchdowns in that first half, really only had 1 sack. Now, that 2-back set, 17, DeStefano was getting some pressure around that right side, and then Shelby put Buck Ushery in there and was picking up and helping double team on DeStefano, and RJ was rolling out the other way. So now you didn't have that backside pressure, or at least it came much later. RJ sets his feet, and all kinds of good things happen.
I think your casual football fan would be it would be very interesting for them to come to an understanding of how many just little adjustments are made from series to series, during the football game. One of the things that I learned from Bernie Drake, who was a great offensive line coach at Shelby, was that you do about 60% of your preparation and work at practice, and then when you get into the game, about 40% of the things that you end up doing are like small changes that you have to make in blocking schemes, in the way that you're lining up, the way that, and just little things like that, because it was very evident to me that when Shelby went to the 2 backs, one on each side of George, that forced Burns to do something with their defense that just changed the game.
And it changed it quickly in Shelby's favor, and 34 points later, the Golden Lions lead 34-7. That's the score here at halftime. Let's take a 3-minute break on this Doctors Stroud, Wilson, and Thompson Family Dental Care halftime show. We'll be back and we'll get Steve DeGree on the line and let him talk a little bit about that middle school game this week. That was a barn burner, and give some local scores. And we'll do that after this 3-minute break.
Coming Halloween night, the Newt on the Court Square in Uptown Shelby. It's their adult.
Experienced, quality, and guaranteed service. That's what you get from Shelby Transmission Specialists. They do straight drives and automatic transmissions. They can repair and rebuild transmissions and sell parts as well. So if you have transmission trouble, see the experts, Al Hamrick, Lyle Reynolds, and Jimmy Stepp at Shelby Transmission Specialists, 734 Nally Drive, just off Highway 226 North in Shelby. Call 704-482-8756 for Shelby Transmission Specialist.
I'm a faithful Kibo's customer. I like Kibo's. I get delicious Hunt Brothers pizza there, and it's so good. And their breakfast biscuits, they're great. Plus, I get my gas there. Then there's Coca-Cola, Sundrip, and Pepsi Colas. Oh my, the candy's good too. And of course, when it's hot, the hand-dipped ice cream. It's so good. Hey, it's even good in those cold days as well. Kibo's, my favorite place. It's located there at the Caution Light on Highway 226 North at Zion Church Road intersection, Shelby.
Summertime, kids in and out of the house, pets bringing in all types of creatures inside with them, and you wondering how in the world are you going to keep your carpet clean. Keys Carpet and Floor Covering in Shelby has some great carpet cleaning products, but if you need new carpet or floor covering, they have great prices too, with professional installation. So don't you get the summertime blues. Put the top down and chill out with a stop at Keys Carpet and Floor Covering, 1162 East Marion Street in Shelby, your floor covering headquarters in this area. There's some great new menu items at Newt's on the Court Square in Uptown Shelby. Try their Green Man Burger, or the new Cheddar Jalapeno Burger, or the new sliders. Other new items at Newt's includes a Fuse Burger, Pam's Adobo Dog, and a big new chef salad. And be sure to ask for the $6 Burger of the Day. Create your own burger or build your own salad at Newt's, 116 East Warren Street, located on the Court Square in Uptown Shelby. Want to cut your cooling costs this summer? With a highly efficient York air conditioning system, you can save up to 50% on energy costs while enjoying more consistent temperatures throughout your home. Call Settle Heating and Air.
Welcome back to Burns High School for the Dr. Doug Stroud, Dr. Jim Wilson, Dr. Craig Thompson Family Dental Care halftime show, the 9th year that the good doctors have sponsored this halftime show. And we've got Steve DeGree over here, and he's going to share with us first some halftime scores.
Okay, what I have Chris, 21, East Burt, 0. RS Central, 14, Kings Mountain, 7. Ashbrook, 21, East Gaston, 7. Forrestville, South Point, tied at halftime, 14-14. Hunter Huss, 34. North Lake Lemon, 0. North Gaston, 17. Stuart Claimant, 0. We got Brumbies, 21. Maiden, 14. We got Lincolnton, 51. Bunker Hill, 0. Lincoln Conover, 6. East Lincolnton, 14. Both of those teams are undefeated. West Lincoln, 21. West Caldwell, 10. Trevor, 35. Highland Tech, 0. We got Bessemer City, 38. Pine Lake Prep, 24. Thomas Jefferson, 14. Community School of Davidson, 6. And we got Mooresville, 24. North Lincoln, 0.
Wow. Okay, and so that East Lincoln leads Newton Conover is at 14-6.
14-6.
Well, that's a little bit of a surprise because Newton Conover has been scoring points in bunches, but they've also been giving up points in bunches. And I think I think they've had some almost UNC football game defensive stats. I think they won a game like 50-43 the other night, and so I'm not terribly surprised that East Lincoln's leading that game, but I am surprised that it's a 14-6 score at halftime. Steve, tell us a little bit about that classic middle school matchup between Shelby and Crest Wednesday night.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, that was a great football game. It was a great defensive game. We had 5 turnovers, and don't make no excuses. Crest came to play, our guys came to play, and we lost the game 7-6. We actually controlled the line of scrimmage. We had the ball more than they did, but so like every time we get it down in the red zone, we would turn it over. Well, but the kids came back to practice on Thursday, and they watched the tape. And we came out today, probably had the best practice we had all year today. They was focused, and if things go well, we'll get to play the Dragons again, because we got Kings Mountain, who finished number 1 in the East. We played them Wednesday at 4:30.
Wednesday at 4:30 at Kings Mountain?
At Kings Mountain.
And Crest is playing who?
They're playing Lincoln, probably East Lincoln.
Okay. And so the winner of those 2 games will square off for the championship. And guys, if you want to have a chance to see some future Golden Lions, come out and check out Shelby Middle School, who will be playing hopefully the next 2 Wednesdays. Also, the Shelby Golden Lion JV team has continued their recent run of success. They are now 8-1 and had a big victory over Burns last night. And again, if you want to see the Golden Lions to come out here on Thursday night. Well, thanks so much for sharing that with us, Steve. And the band is now leaving the field. They've got a lot of props and things to take down, and Golden Lions are back on the field. They are putting the 3 minutes on. So let's take a 2-minute break, Steve, and we'll come back for the beginning of the second half.
It was going to be one of those bad weeks.
Your local York dealer at 704-481-1788 and schedule a free evaluation of your system and learn how you can move up to a new level of comfort and efficiency this summer. Call Settle Heating and Air and settle in with comfort this summer, or visit the website at settleinwithcomfort.com. Soulful Southern fare with a flair. That's Smoke on the Square in Uptown Shelby. Make your next dinner out at Smoke on the Square in historic Uptown Shelby. Great starters and appetizers, along with soups and salads. For dinner, there's seafood, pasta, beef and pork, house-cut steaks and signature steaks, and chicken too. And their sides are out of this world. For a full menu, visit them online at smokeonthesquare.com. Smoke on the Square, the Southern Low Country cuisine and steakhouse. Located at 5 East Marion Street, Uptown Shelby. The Red Hot Summer Sale is underway at S&R Auto Sales in Shelby. Hurry on in now for red hot deals with down payments started at only $699. And pick up this week's What's Up Shopper and play the S&R Auto Sales Weekly Trivia Sports Question Contest. You could win a $10 bill certificate from the clock. For a full list of inventory, visit S&R Auto Sales online at srautosales.com or call 704-487-0570. S&R Auto Sales, 417 South Post Road in Shelby, the home of the satisfied customer.
At Shelby Medical Associates, we provide comprehensive medical care for the adults of Cleveland County and the surrounding area. We have a full-service lab, a sleep lab, and an x-ray department, including bone density scanning, ultrasound, and digital mammography. At Shelby Medical Associates, we provide compassionate, professional care for our patients both in the office and in the hospital. For an appointment, call 704-482-1482. Shelby Medical Associates. Doctors for Adults. A proud sponsor of the Crest Charger Injury Report in 2012.
The girls at Standridge Auto Parts in Shelby, Stacy, Deidre, and Jody, invite you in for their giant, sizzling hot battery sale. Buy your next interstate battery at Standridge Auto Parts for just $45 with your exchange. That's right, only $45 with your exchange, and they come with a 1-year warranty. Plus, now through August 31st, take 10% off in-stock auto parts. Used tires starting at $10 each and sold separately. And they'll buy your old junk cars. Stanbridge Auto Parts, 1521 Sulphur Springs Road in Shelby, serving this area since 1972.
And Richard Wright's kickoff goes into the end zone for a touchback. And both of his kickoff, well, the ones where he hasn't been backed up 15 yards headed this way, that's his second touchback. Burns will have to go 80 yards on their opening drive.
And that's as Shelby would draw it up. They like to make Burns have the long field, and with the exception of one time tonight, that's the way it's been. Burns had that one turnover on Shelby where they intercepted the ball, had a short field, and they put points on the board. So we'll see if Burns can do something with 80 yards to go.
1st and 10. And Camp around the left side bounces it out. He's going to get maybe the line of scrimmage, maybe even loses a yard, and it's basically the same thing as we saw in that second quarter. Camp's just got nowhere to go.
Well, what Burns did that time that was different is they came out in 2 tight ends, and they haven't had tight end tonight. And it looked like that was going to work out pretty well because the tight end to the left had a nice block. But by the time that Camp got out to the end, there just wasn't anything there. And, great job again by the goal line defense. 2nd down and just over 10.
And Dax Hollifield creeping up, and Shelby blitzes. Barbie gets out of it, and he's going to run, and he's going to slide down. It's a loss of a yard, as he doesn't want to risk injury there with Shelby bearing down on him. But that time Shelby came with Dax Hollifield, and I thought I saw a 25 in there for Shelby, which would be Isaiah Etchison, but I must have missed a number there because maybe that was 26.
Must have been 26, Javon Miller. But again, great pressure on Barbie. Barbie made a great move to get out from that first tackle attempt by Dax Hollifield.
Yeah, and he actually made a quick decision to tuck that one and run. And low snap, and Barbie's going to tuck it and run again, and he's dragged down from behind. And let's see who that is. And that's Shavon Miller for sure that time. So he gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Maybe 1 yard beyond, perhaps.
Yep, just maybe the football length beyond. And that's going to be 4th down in a punting situation.
And you can see the Bulldogs, they're short a man to begin with.
And they're screaming for a guy to get out there, and Dominique Watkins gets out there just in time. 5 on the play clock, and they get this one off, and Shelby again close to the block. This time a good punt out of bounds. Shelby will not be able to return that. Let's see where they mark it out, and they're still going upfield. And they're going to mark it at the Burns 48.
He's still walking. He's just got people to go through. It was kicked much farther than that, but they're saying it went out of bounds at the 47, so that's a 26-yard punt. And Shelby in business again on the Burns side of the 50 on the 47-yard line. 1st and 10.
And I've got no clue how an official can tell exactly where it goes out of bounds.
I think it's a little bit of voodoo, a little bit of guessing. I think they may use the Pythagorean theorem, maybe a quadratic formula as well.
Well, it worked in Shelby's favor that time. They take over at the Burns 47. 2-back set. R.J. George fakes the handoff. He rolls out. Pressure from DeStefano. He gets away. Now he's going to plant. Now he's going to run. And he's inside the 50, inside the 45. Ooh, he's drilled. He gets 2 yards, and then he's hit hard by 45.
And 30.
Yeah, 30. Yes, I think 30 is the one that delivered the blow, Bryson Allen. 2-yard gain for RJ.
You got to hope that RJ's not shaking up because that was quite a shot that he took, but he seems to be no worse for wear.
Well, he got away from DeStefano, who had a great first quarter for Burns on that pass rush, and he made something positive out of it. Now it's 2nd down, and it's 2nd and 8. And he's back to pass, and he finds a man, but it's Day-Day Brooks out of the backfield, and Day-Day heard footsteps and kind of short-armed that one, falls incomplete. That was one of those where that DB was coming up full speed.
Yeah, and RJ didn't do him any favors because he led him just a little bit, and that could have been quite a collision had Day-Day been able to get to that football. I'm not saying that Day-Day wasn't trying to get to the football. I'm just saying that we might be better off that he didn't.
3rd down 8 from the Burns 45. One back set. 3 receivers right. It's a quick pass, complete. Jaden Borders and a great tackle by 30. Again, that's Bryson Allen, and he keeps Borders about 2 yards shy of the first down.
So 4th and 2. It's going to be interesting to see what Shelby does right now. This is one of those possible momentum switches right now. Shelby feeling good about their chances of picking up the 2 yards, but we're already down to 15 seconds left on the play clock. Golden Lions not yet ready to snap the ball. They're all going to go for it on 4th down then.
Play clock at 8, and RJ under center again, and they do that play, and Burns is all over it this time, as that's 43 Nathan Black, and he throws RJ back, and no surprises that time.
No surprises that time, and we'll have to take a good hard look to see if that's going to be a momentum switch, because